Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? It's 2023 officially, and now that we've got all three cockpits filled, we can do our end of the year for 2022's year in review. What's going on, Denham and Dustin? Welcome back from the Dropship Detention Center.
Listen, I don't know how I was supposed to know that there was an import ban on Rastaban salted butter, but I managed to post bail, so I'm here tonight.
Well, howdy. And I won't mention how Dustin got caught doing that, because it wasn't me.
Man.
But welcome back. Before we get into our look back on the year, let's talk about some things that are new for the year, and that is the Battletech's news, our hobby progress, our games played, and some event calendar / fan mail, because we actually have a lot in the last week that we haven't recorded.
Been productive. We're a little late on this, recording.
The year is starting off strong. It's
going to be a good year. Let's talk about it.
Catalyst has already announced a restock of existing product, which I would hope is more like not a celebration thing, but like, hey, you're restocking things. I like when I can get product impulsively. But they also have some new products that they have announced / teased. Because I know Denham just wants to he normally does it, so I just
No, I'm sorry. I looked over here and you said Aerobase 1 and 2 maps. I missed that.
Wow.
Same.
It is.
That's why
I hate you guys so much.
No, everything else on this sheet I know about. I missed the Aerobase maps, and I read the articles.
Yeah, it's not a read thing. It's a picture thing. All right.
Oh, God,
all right.
Pictures.
So
Real
apparently both of y'all missed this, but
I did miss it.
At the bottom of the Battletech news article, a look back and ahead at Battletech's success, where they talk about 160,000 copies of a Game of Armored Combat and Beginner Box have been sold. You've got 600,000 force packs, 500,000 in the last 2 years, where they throw out all these numbers. They drop a little eensy-beensy teaser about some new products that they have coming out. So they put Dominions Divided right at the front, and they got some the Mercenaries force packs, which they finally will say January this month. So hopefully we will see those. But teased between all the shiny dice cases for some new Ill Clan era factions.
See.
Yeah. A lot of people missed that. You have 2 new map packs. I don't want to say map packs. Neoprene mats.
Yeah, battle mats.
Battle mats. I'm sorry. I'm not legally required to use the name brand, but they are Aerobase 1 and Grasslands and Aerobase 2 in Grasslands.
Okay. I'm noticing that this is hexless, which is interesting because 2 map sheets is not a lot of space to play. I'm assuming Alpha Strike or see where it says Alpha Strike hexless battle mat. So that's interesting.
If you put both of them together, I think it's okay. But
these are 22 by 36 inches hexless battle mats.
So it's
almost 4 by 3.
Yeah, 4 by 4.
Still small.
Obviously,
4 by 4 I think is minimum for Alpha Strike. In my opinion.
I would agree. 4 by 4 is minimum, but that's interesting. It's also interesting that they went hexless, but there's still the classic, obviously hex inspired.
Bro, those are just regular mats that they took the hexes off of.
That's what it is.
Can we have hexes at home? No, we have hexes at home.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about this one.
Is that why y'all glanced at it? You saw hexless and just immediately
Yeah, my brain probably filtered that out so that it didn't get angry.
Because I saw Aerobase and was like, ooh boy, I love some base mats. They don't even preview the Aero side. They just show the Grassland side, which I think is hilarious. They're like, nobody can know. I was like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, if you don't go 4 by 6, then you pretty much don't even get to use your long range bracket in Alpha Strike. So maps that size, they're just I don't know the market that they're selling these to.
Yeah.
I want to say classic players. Like,
but if I'm
like-
going to play miniature style,
no, hear me out. This is
Okay.
This is they say Alpha Strike Hexless Battle Mat. What I interpret from that, using like seeing a literal Hex classic mat with just the lines taken off, is
Mhm.
Hexless Classic.
I guess.
I was expecting more, but that's okay.
But
Yeah,
it
because
says Alpha Strike on it.
look,
That's the thing.
they can market it however they want. That's their problem.
Yeah.
That is a small mat, a small game, 36 inches and 22. Yeah. Like, I know mechs that move more than 22 inches. I've used them.
Yeah.
Now, in the Alpha Strike box set, there is a mech that goes 45 if you sprint, 30 if you don't. So, yeah. No, it's too small. Way too small.
Smaller than a phone booth.
So do you think these are just like a bad product, or like...
Right, because they've done this before. They did their Alpha Strike map before, and overwhelming response that I knew about was, that's great, but they're too small. This is not for an Alpha Strike game. So them making more of those really confuses me, unless they were already in the works and it was too late to stop them, like it had already been sent to the printer.
Maybe we're in the minority.
So that's why they haven't advertised them except for this little picture, because I haven't read anything about them. So it could just be like, well, they're coming because we already sent them to the printer and we can't do anything about that for 8 months or however long the turnaround time is. So surprise.
Would you hate me or some other player if they bought one of these and just drew the hexes on?
You're a monster.
Josh, you know I'm probably going to buy both of them and see how it works if you stick them both together to make, a 44 by whatever.
By 36.
I'm probably going to have them.
But even a 44 by 36 is like,
yeah, it's still
the bare minimum. It's the
still
literal bare minimum of a game mat.
It's like what I would do for a demo game.
Yeah.
I'd have my little tube with those maps in there, and I'd lay them out for my demo games. That's probably what I'll use them for.
But what I mean is they are intending these to be paired together, because they literally say Arrow Base number 1 and Arrow Base number 2.
I'm hoping that they are intended to be paired together and that they match nicely and it's a cool map. But I would have preferred it if they had just released the BFM with no hex marks.
Okay. Maybe the BFM was a price point that they weren't willing to put these at.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not a marketing / manufacturing person. I can only give commentary as a classic player that only buys the mats he really likes.
Right, and I'm not in those marketing meetings yet, so I don't know what they're thinking.
Okay. But what do we think about the Interstellar Operations Alternate Eras and Interstellar Operations Battle Force?
Interstellar Operations, like I have those, so these are just the new versions of them.
Yeah.
This is where they split the book up, right?
No, I have them with the book split up. They just have different covers. So I think I've got the classic covers. So these are the new covers.
Okay.
So yay, books with errata with new covers. As long as the spine art is the same, I'm happy.
There's an Ares on that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ares and an Ost, and looks like hovercraft and some dudes about to get small lasered.
I mean, the cover art looks really, really nice. If you're not into the classic print covers, then these are probably more what you're looking for.
I'm okay. Those are like things we expected. The only new things, which they kind of teased, were that and new and free stock items coming soon. So I'm guessing end of Q1 for those.
Yep.
Or they'll just drop it without really much fanfare. They did announce, though, we will get the Mercenary Tales in January, which apparently will be a monthly installment of mercenary action all throughout the next year. So for 2023, I'm guessing this will be like a mini Shrapnel, like a specific focus on a mercenary. I'm gonna extrapolate from just that one sentence. This feels like a mini Shrapnel, probably dedicated for like one mercenary group at a time, maybe some general like an 80% focus on like Wolves Dragoons, and then what did they do in interactions.
Right, because they did release a bunch of novellas for the last Kickstarter, and they spaced those out.
Yeah.
So it might be something like that as well.
Yeah, there was the Kellhounds thing that they did
No,
for the
it
last
was
Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean they had the Kellhounds thing, but
It was in Shrapnel though. Yeah.
I'm talking about the group of novellas that they released, and then they tied them all together.
Oh, okay.
And made a book out of them. We read it for the book club.
That's right.
One time, yeah. That's right.
We'll wait to see.
Jaguars forever.
So I've already looked through the Dominions Divided book. Dustin, you've looked through it a little bit. We saw some fun
Tiny
stuff.
bit.
We won't put too many spoilers. We got some big, read my lips, big action in it.
Big for those that like the Davians.
And technically, if you like Karita, there's some big stuff for them, but not as big for
I like Karita. Is that in a was that in Akuma on the front?
That's an Atlas, sir.
Oh, is it?
I think it's an Atlas.
I thought I had the little Akuma ear thing sticking up.
That's
on the
an
sides.
Atlas. That is
right.
two buildings in the background giving the illusion of ears.
Yep. Okay.
There's, we got a Warhammer. Sorry, not a Warhammer, a Marauder.
Oh my God, both of y'all are garbage. We're moving on.
Okay.
Both of y'all have misidentified two mechs on the
What's
cover.
the dead guy?
It's a Marauder 2.
It is a Marauder too, yeah. I don't know what the dead one is. We don't have to worry about that.
The picture's very tiny.
Yeah, if you're looking at the tiny picture.
That's what I'm looking at, the tiny picture. Thank you. It has removed my distraction.
All right, what else do we got?
They announced the other 4 mercenary packs. The second half will be coming out hopefully by March, and that'll accompany the Urban Mech Lance pack as well.
I'm excited about the Urban Mech Lance pack. more so than the company that they released, because these are all different. They've got different variants.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they're
that's
not
right.
identical.
They do.
Yeah.
So this might be a spicy take, but I'm kind of not excited for any of these jumping variant / new variant Lance packs coming out.
Oh my God, this is the Dustin gets our quota of hate mail for the year in the first week.
You know that the jump parts are removable, so they don't have to be jumping.
That's okay. I already have those sculpts.
Okay.
If I need more, I guess I'll buy them. But in the meantime, this might be part of my 2023 hobby goal bleeding through, but we'll talk about that when we get to that segment.
Oh my God.
I'm excited about all the jumping mechs. So there.
Give me I'll buy them and give you all the jumpy mechs.
I'll take it.
I'm going to use them for displays and not for gaming. I'll put it that way as well.
Okay.
Let's move on. We got a new rec guide. We've got just a few more. So we got rec guide 29 dropping.
Bam, bam, bam.
Right. I think we've only got 3 more, right?
Yeah, it's not too much longer. Can we handle? Because I'm a little disappointed in that some things haven't been stated yet.
Still a couple to come out.
There's still a couple, but not many.
I'm just digging on
excited to have my pilot printed in a physical book when they finally release the physical versions of these. So excited.
All right, so we've got the Browning Mobile HQ, one of the other objective pack units that they are putting in.
Right.
Just a little guy.
Comes with the long tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 tons, so 711 has all the communications and jamming gear you could ever want.
Looks good. The sculpt looks good. What can I say? I love these vehicles.
Yep, wheeled and tracked.
Oh boy! So if you're playing on ground or you're playing on pavement, we've got a variant for you.
That's right. You want to go through some light trees? Use this one.
We got the little Hetzer. How's the Hetzer doing nowadays?
It's got a sexy sculpt. I
just read a story with the Hetzer in it, with the Hetzer crew. So taking a look at this new one, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I pictured it. It's a little death trap. You know, if you walk in front of it, you're dead. But if you come at any sort of an angle, the poor thing,
it's dead.
Yeah, very.
Anything else on that, or
nah? It's a Hetzer. What else?
It's a Hetzer. That's it.
Cool sculpt. It's a Hetzer.
It's a gun on wheels with no turret.
Yeah.
That's
It's got a UAC now.
Oh my god! So you can jam with your.
That's right. It can be totally useless, and then die.
Oh man, we've got the. How are we pronouncing this? Urus.
Eurus.
Eurus.
I'll pronounce it Eurus.
Urus.
Yeah.
Urus.
Eurus.
How does the EU
I don't know.
pronunciation? Oh boy.
You need our pronunciation guide, whom's we can't pronounce his name correctly, but Stahlkater.
All right, it's Urus.
Eurus.
It's Eurus.
Cool.
Hey, Team Eurus.
Yeah, it's a 60-ton clan Omni tank.
The Inner Sphere is a big place, Josh. You can pronounce it your way if you want to. Davian, you know. I say Davian.
Davian.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That accent really just jams in on that O. Yeah, what do we think about this Urus?
I mean, it's a main battle tank. I've always been a fan, so I'm happy that we're getting them in plastic, and I'm happy that the turrets on vehicles like this will spin right out of the box. So
Working turrets.
Yep.
I'm gonna glue it down just for you.
Yeah, you can.
I ain't
glue yours
losing
down
no
all you want.
turrets.
I will glue mine down.
All right. It looks like there's like almost a variant for every flavor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any particular one stand out to you guys?
I mean, it's just a good, well-rounded MBT. Got big guns, auxiliary gun. It's great.
You
Guns.
can't say no to tank with big gun. You're like, love
Actually
it
has
every time.
2 big gun, large pulse laser and Gauss rifle. That's nice. That's
One
sturdy.
of those is much larger than the other one.
Yeah, but one hits all the time. I bet if you plot it out on a graph, the large pulse laser is going to do, especially clan large pulse laser, going to do more work than the Gauss rifle.
And you don't run out of ammo.
That's right.
It's free energy estate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we've got probably the most controversial part of this rack guide, which is new Wolves Dragoons battle armor. The aptly named Dragoon battle armor.
And it comes in 4 and 5 unit groups.
Okay. Let's see. We got a 1-3. We got like an elemental profile here, kind of. Flamer, light mortar. What? Okay. Micro pulse laser and light mortar on the other one. Okay. So it's like a kind of indirect light mortar.
I'm going to go with a support battle armor.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's interesting because battle armors, especially with the Dragoons, you'd expect it to be mounted, but they're not really like into the heat of battle mounted kind of stuff. But I guess if you need to be transported to the place that you're going to be supporting quickly with your indirect fire, I don't know. Interesting play options / ideas, I guess, on the tabletop there.
Yeah, the poor mortar, it only has a range of 3, but it still has a minimum range.
Oh, Jesus.
It is a 90-meter mortar.
Yeah, it goes 1, 2, 3 with a 1 minimum.
That's
rough.
That is like the worst mortar I've ever. Hold on.
I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna bring some real world mortar. What is the mortars can engage charge at less than 70 meters to 9,000 meters? Bro, we chose the absolute. Somebody read mortars can engage targets 70 meters and did not read the at less than.
This is mortar light though, so so there.
Oh, do you? Let me pull up.
He's got a Nerf launcher on his shoulder.
Yeah. 60 millimeter M224, minimum range 70, maximum range 3,500.
Don't you bring physics into my game?
Yes. Even when you go, but this is BattleTech, 3 hexes is
not anything. That's not even a support weapon at that point.
Yeah, well, it's listed as direct fire ballistic / anti-infantry. So I don't know what it's supposed to be there for.
To kill infantry?
Assaulting hardened positions or something. I don't know.
Okay, so it has a flamer and a light mortar, so you mortar the infantry as you're closing to flamer them to death, I guess.
It's the same range. Though you don't close, you don't have to close the flamer. Flamer also goes 3.
It's the same range. All right. I see why you said this is controversial. Controversial.
I'm gonna take whichever one you do.
I'll do both. I'll
Yeah.
alternate.
Yeah. No.
I
You
think
got
the
20
Tin Star
rounds.
would win if you put them against each
Oh
other.
my god! The periphery battle armor coming out on top.
Tin Man.
Oh my god! It's the Tin Star with a steel chair.
All right.
Yeah. No, I need to stick on this one for just a little bit.
Okay,
The battle
all right.
value though is 32 per guy. So let's just all admit, like this is not being used in like battle mech level combat. This feels almost more specialized for like those really micro BV games.
Micro pulse laser.
I mean, with
Like-
the Flamer, they'd be good at going up against vehicles. The Micropulse, good against clearing out infantry. They are definitely are not meant for
Battle mech
fighting
combat.
battle mechs.
Yeah, it's anti-infantry suit. Yeah.
I feel
Not
like
everybody can be a Phalanx D.
I feel like almost any other battle armor is a better anti-infantry unit than this. Like at that point, just drop the flamer and just go medium mortar. What's a medium mortar's range? It's got to be at least 6. I'm calculating.
Oh, I'm gonna 4. I don't know.
And a light mortar. So the heavy mortar is 246. All right. Okay. So
Does it weigh?
no. First we got to go to the light mortar, and I'm going to tell you how much damage it does. 3 plus 1d6 versus infantry.
Yeah, this is some Dark Age shovel combat going on here.
While it literally says, while an excellent choice among and when combating unarmored infantry, they're less favored by battle armor, especially given their poor anti-mecha capabilities.
Yeah.
This makes them relatively rare among IS forces, while the clans have no interest.
So who is this marketed for?
I don't even know, because this might be the death knell of the Dragoons. Like, if you're putting 3 plus a d6 infantry, a machine gun does better. Like,
And it's cheaper, and it has way more ammo.
like an AP Gauss rifle, 2d6 at range of
9, I think.
9,
Yeah. AP Gauss rifle are great.
Mm-hmm.
Does it fire
light machine
indirect?
gun.
Like, are there any cute bonuses that it
No,
has?
because you said it was direct ballistic.
Yeah, it says DB/AI.
Oh my god, it's not even indirect. Incredible.
It says on a high arcing trajectory over long distances, but
But it's direct ballistic.
And it's not long distance.
It has to be.
I feel like I must be missing something, but we got to move on because this could just be.
Yeah, maybe let us know. Send
Yeah,
us
if
your
you know
hate mail.
more than we do.
You know
about
something
this.
about the light mortar that we don't know.
This just dropped, so we're digesting. Like you're watching us eat right now. This is to inform everyone that we learned that this is supposed to be the canonization of the battle armor suit that you wear in Mech Assault and run around shooting things and essentially taking over mechs. And because none of us played that at least enough to remember what the suit looked like, that's what this is supposed to be. So it's an homage to that / a canonization of what that suit you wore was. All right. So, and then they got some cool stuff. We got the chemical ontoast.
Mm-hmm. Got the Firefly.
Firefly model looks good.
Does. I'm into this new assassin.
The assassin with the improved one-shot SRM2.
Mm-hmm. Now at a half a ton. I just want everybody to know that when I read the word assassin, it's assassin in my head.
I'm cutting that.
Got the Dervish.
I like
Dervish.
the Dervish.
Now we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but I hate the Dervish. You love the Dervish, right?
I do. I like it a lot.
Uh-huh.
It's a good, solid 55-ton mech that can do long range firepower as well as short range. And since it has clan missile launchers, there's No minimum range.
Okay, well I would like that dervish. That's a good dervish.
I feel like they're selling us the mechs we don't like currently. Like if you played in like intro tech to Clan Invasion, you're like, yeah, this mech, no, ew, you brought a dervish, ew, get that away from me. They're like,
but ill clan,
and then they like code it with clan LRMs. They're like, all right, well now do you like the dervish?
That's like my trebuchet 9N or whatever with the clan lerms, the VSPs. What else? We got a charger.
Well, that dervish has AES on both arms too.
Ooh, nice. Now you had a fun stat for this charger.
Yeah, the charger. I saw the charger and the fact that it runs 13. So with a little math, it does 96 damage on a charge if it can hit you in a straight line. Yeah. 96 points of damage. That is a lot of damage.
What is that a mask and a supercharger?
Yes,
combined?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it goes 5, 8, 13.
Ay. Wait, 5, 8, 13, so jumps 13?
No, 5, 8 and
13 with the mask and the supercharger.
With the mask and supercharger, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you
so
can't
assuming that its legs don't burn off when it tries to charge you, does 96 points of damage.
Where we're going, we don't need armor. Yeah, we're going, we don't need legs.
That's
nice. Right. And it has a targeting computer for that charge. Or for the improved heavy medium lasers that it has.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I feel like you need to add that footnote. Asterisks. Targeting computers do not work for charges. They do not help you run into the target. Why not? I don't know.
We got everybody's favorite gun bag, the Sagittaire, also in here.
That mini or it looks so much like the original sculpt though. Like I
don't like the original.
Really
I don't like the new one. I'll just say it here.
Yeah, if you do not like the original, you will not like this one. It looks almost the same.
Isn't that like kind of the point of most of these? They're upgrades that don't change the weapon port configurations.
No, aesthetically, like some of the upgraded Scroggin sculpts look a lot different, and this one is different but pretty similar. I mean, I guess you could say that my bias is showing. I didn't like this originally. I don't like it now. It's just I'm not a Sagittaire guy.
That's okay.
So
anything else, or we want to wrap this rec guide up?
If Kurt was here, he'd talk about how much he loves the Sagittaire. I'm pretty sure he likes it.
I'm pretty sure he likes VSPs. All these mechs.
Yeah, it has VSP lasers and a targeting computer.
That's why not throw AES on it?
It's gonna be spicy. Oh.
Can you do that? VSP targeting computer AES.
Yes.
Is that -3, 4, 5, -5 in the short range bracket?
Yeah.
And it jumps, so there you go.
Why not,
bro? That's free energy estate.
Only 2600 BV. A deal.
Look, when you jump behind someone, it's like nothing personal, kid. How are you hitting me easier than when standing still?
That's -2 to hit. I don't need to roll.
Okay. But no, so we got a couple more rec guides. I can only imagine where we're going from here.
I don't know where they're going from here.
But that's certainly more vehicles.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a ways out.
All right. So that's enough rec guide. That's enough news. That's enough talking about the things that just came out and are coming out. Let's go to some hobby progress. I will start. I've gotten nothing done because I'm a terrible Mechbay owner.
Rockin' stone.
So in the last week, you've gotten nothing done.
In the last week, I've gotten nothing done. Yeah, my wife went to go visit some family for the week and help them out, and we'll be back. So it's just me. But yeah, so I've gotten no hobby progress done. Just some planning. I did write the Greyhounds TRO.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Progress.
Yeah, this was not painting, not modeling. This was fan fiction-y progress.
There you go.
But it was kind of fun to okay, I have to research companies and manufacturing plants and what they produce. And then in the 2760s, this company on Terror produced this model Ferrovirus. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just change the numbering of that, and this Indosteel plant on Terra and Mars. And I was like, okay, so this actually can, like, you can get really close down, not just like writing brand new companies into existence.
Yeah. And you even had pictures. It looked nice.
I had a picture. What I would love to do is make it into like an actual TRO sheet and like print it out.
Format style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, do that. So I saw that you put it on the Discord. You should also put it in the show notes.
I'll put it on the show notes for people who are listening to click the description and look at my bad fan fiction-y writing.
It wasn't that bad, but okay.
No, because I modeled it literally after a TRO. Like, I looked at like 5 TROs and like, all right, they used to do it like this, and now they do it like this. Well, I'll pick something in the middle. But the problem is I don't have any notable pilots because nobody's sending me in battle reports of them using their Greyhounds yet.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can't just make up people that I think used it because that's lame. I want to see what people are doing and how they're modifying it so I can write and, keep track of all my fan fiction-y persons.
I super love that. So this is a work in progress until people start sending in their games played with them.
Yeah, and then I'll
let us know the stories that happened.
But yeah, so that's really all I've gotten done.
Denham, you gotten any hobby progress?
Yeah, I took the Alpha Strike box set and I decided to do Merrick versus Jade Falcon. So those are I'm looking up unit colors that I want to paint them, but I have decided on my factions. So
nice.
That is, and I primed them. So hobby progress.
There you go. They're primed. That's progress.
Primed is progress. Primed is better than a lot of people.
How about you, Dustin? Anything at all?
Yes, I painted sorry, it's 40K, guys. I painted a devilfish and a hammerhead.
This, by the way, Dustin, is why I turned you in for the
butter.
Yeah, for the butter thing incident. Yep, right here.
You were detained for painting non-battle tech.
Revengeance.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm starting on this year. But no, it's just a part of my hobby goals this year is to paint all my unpainted miniatures. I counted them. There's roughly 130.
Rookie numbers.
I sold my Beta Galaxy. It's gone.
Whoa.
On
eBay or locally?
eBay.
Wow. eBay. Okay.
Yeah. I am stunned that people pay money. Not it's not great or anything, but it's almost like miniature value, at least, that I get when I sell these old. I mean, they're just, I'm never going to play with them again.
Did you like attach your best painted Southern Assault
No.
award with it? Like,
no, just potato quality cell phone photos of every one of them, and then I throw them up on eBay.
And you didn't market it as award-winning paint.
I did not say professionally painted. I also start all my auctions at $0. They're real auctions. But anyways, so
wow.
But yeah, no longer a Clan Wolf player.
Clan Wolf, so 2022.
So 2022. I'm 2023 now.
All right. But so I will say I did make my last purchase of 2022 because,
Nice.
Buying is hobby progress.
Hobby progress.
The best kind of hobby progress where someone takes my money. I bought things I told myself I would never buy.
Yes.
The best.
So what'd you get?
Oh, man. I bought some Proto-Mechs.
Ew.
Ew is right. I bought some.
Did you get the ones with the butts? Did you get
They all have butts.
Proto-Mechs?
They all have
they
butts.
do?
Yeah,
They
I
all
did.
got butts.
I did dig my Proto-Mechs out of the garage, so I do have some rocks that.
I want to see
Yeah.
volumetric highlighting on those butt cheeks.
Nothing. This feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Maybe I'll make it all flesh tone just for you.
God. These are my flesh tone Proto-Mechs. Gross.
What a cursed star.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure we'll
cursed.
get into it in games played, but Josh and I did mess around with Proto-Mechs a little bit on the MegaMeks, and yeah, I may paint mine up and put them out on the table
Yeah,
just
there you go.
to mess with people.
Well, that's a good segue. We're done with hobby progress,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
So me and Denham actually got a game in because we wanted to get an episode recorded in, but as always, scheduling conflicts happened and someone has children.
Yeah, way too many.
So
It's 2. The answer's 2, but it's
Two.
way too
Two's
many.
too many.
So we played a 10,000 BV Ill Clan era game. And what did you take, Denham?
Well, it's funny because we built our lists independently, and neither of them made it to 10K, but they were 1 point apart. So I had 9,950, and you had 9,951. Yeah, 1 point. I had a Pouncer with a bunch of Flamer Elementals. I had a Hammerhead because I've never actually run one. I fought against one before, never ran one, so I decided to run that. And then I had the Timberwolf, but I threw Josh a curveball by not picking the A. I picked the TC variant.
Ooh.
Because the one goes 585 with a bunch of pulse lasers.
It actually did throw me off. I was like, if I'm expecting one thing from Denham,
It's a TBA.
it's a TBA.
Also,
Also,
he saw the Timby, so.
But this was also us trying out the new MegaMek. Was it 49.11?
11, yep.
So we found that there were a few differences in 11 versus the last couple things. So if anyone's wanting to play that, it gives a few different things. If you like right click, you can't see it doesn't like list where you would expect things.
Right. Visually, everything's a bit different. And if you do, we have both the 48 standard edition and the 4911 on the Discord server right now. All right. So that's what I brought. What did you bring, Josh?
I brought a Warcrow Prime, a Carrion Crow Prime.
Clint 2C.
Oh, yes. I did bring weird things. I brought a Clint 2C, a Stinger 2C, and a Baboon.
Oh my
yes.
God.
So those were your mechs for sure.
So I had 5 mechs, and I had a lot of BV left over. So then I threw in 5 proto mechs.
Yes, because proto mechs come in groups of 5, but they don't have to be the same proto mech.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have to take 5, but they can be different.
Yeah, and they were.
Now I gotta go and get exactly which ones.
That was a lot of forces on Josh's side that I was looking at with my 3 mechs and elementals, which I forgot. I forgot my Pouncer had the elementals. I went to go fire like my medium laser and it wouldn't fire. I'm like, why isn't this firing? And I had to scroll down, and in the little box it said, obstructed by infantry or something like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got to drop these guys off.
So I took 2 hippogriffs, a minotaur, a gorgon, and a rock.
Yep.
And
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything just to try them out. And I'm trying to think, like, how would I describe our game? You completely deleting 1 mech per shot.
Well, the poor baboon. So he's got 3 LRM5s, and they're in his right torso. And my first shot took out the right torso, so the baboon had no weapons for the entire game.
Later turn, you hit my Clint 2C, and you essentially engine crit him and gyro, and I was like, well, he's out too. Thanks.
Yep.
I shot once.
Double engine crit, and he didn't have the heat sinks to recover from that. Yeah, so he eventually ammo explosion from just walking around.
Yeah.
Existence
and
is
then
pain.
And then I wiped out that Stinger's leg. It just went flying off.
Yeah. Yeah, the Stinger 2C tried to go up against Timberwolf. Mental note.
It was a turret in the middle of the field, so at least it was in the middle. It still got a couple shots off, but it was not super effective.
Yeah, so really this was my Carrion Crow and War Crow against your Pouncer, Timberwolf,
and I did successfully swarm your Carrion Crow with my elementals, and I got 1 turn of shooting before you walked into. I assume that you were trying to walk into the water and then lay prone.
Correct.
But you stepped into the water and rolled a 2 and tripped and fell face down in the water.
Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it happens. It just matters that it does.
Effectively eliminating my elementals. They got 1 turn of firing off. I was so excited too. I'm like, yes,
swarm attack.
Yeah.
But
in the end, my hammerhead went down under concentrated fire. My Pouncer exploded. My elementals drowned, and all that was left was a Timberwolf with an engine crit, who was just being annoying and jumping 5 hexes from Heavy Woods into Heavy Woods 5 hexes away every single turn because, with the pulse lasers and the better gunnery, he needed 10s and 11s, and I needed 8s and 9s. But with the Carrion Crow and all of the protomechs still on the field, even those with only 1 point in the torso, because they're still effective, we basically ran out of time, and I surrendered.
I mean, I had 1 BV wise still.
Oh yeah. I think I was at 33%, and you were at 40%.
Yeah.
So all you needed, like I had 2 engine crits, no 1 engine. It was so close. Like I had so many holes in my mech. Yeah, just any little bit of damage that those protomechs do, because some of them only do 1 to 3 points of damage, but you just have to hit it in the right spot, and my mech is gone. So either way, I was out of time, and I could see where this battle was going. If my elementals had taken out your Carrion Crow, I would have fought it to the bitter end, but they drowned. So I'm like, But good job. I would like to go up against protomechs more and play with them to see what I can do with them.
I promised myself I would rake you over the coals on this. We played a MegaMek game, and this man picks 2 grasslands maps out of the regular Game of Armor Combat box to play on. I was like, we have the entire catalog of BattleTech maps, and you pick the ones we play on every Tuesday night.
Yep. And in my defense, I said, what do you want to play? And you said, oh, it's up to you. So if you're going to make it up to me, you can't really complain about what I pick. Next time, pick them yourself.
Fine.
Otherwise, you get in Grasslands.
Grasslands number 2. The crowd favorite.
Well, Grasslands 1 has no hills. It just has trees. So I'm not picking that one.
Yeah. But, it was a good match. We don't play enough. So
we don't. And it was fun, and it was exciting, and protomechs really do sow confusion on the battlefield. That seems to be their job. There's just so many units out there.
To be fair,
it's hard to keep track of what's going on.
It was 10-3 with an elemental squad.
Yep. It was a lot.
Yeah. All right. Dustin, what have you gotten in lately?
I was in Florida, and I played 40K with my brother.
I feel like every time you go to Florida, you play 40K. Yes. It's 40K you're done.
Yeah. Yep. My brother plays this. He refuses to go out and get games at a local game store. So I roll in twice a year, and he's like, 40K. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. You can also do this every week. You don't have children. You're 21. Go play at the LGS. But yeah, that's it. I won't bore you guys with 40K. I played 40K.
What faction? You can give us who won, what faction.
All right. I brought my Thousand Sons because I got my teeth kicked in by his Tyranids 3 times in a row with my Tau, and he was up here. So I brought something to counter all the psychic stuff. So I brought my Thousand Sons, and we played a patrol game. I won that one. Then we played a incursion game. I won that one, and then he busted out his Marines. So he tried out his Marines, and then it was just him getting into not even the Ultramarine Codex. He just the Space Marine thing or whatever. But yeah, I played 4 games. I was 3-1, so that was good. After my brother 3-0'd me the last time he was up, so that's what I played. And I got a Sunshark not a Sunshark. I impulse bought because they just happened to have a Hammerhead. So I painted that. And I've had the Devil Shark, the Devil Fish. Sorry, the Devil. I'm getting my Warhammer and Battletech names all mixed matched. The Devil Shark? The Devil Fish. I've had it for a little while. So paint it up.
No.
But yeah, some games.
I saw those pictures. If Battletech miniatures were the size of that, I would love to see what you could do to those.
I want to get a museum scale something Timberwolf probably at some point and paint it up.
What is
you
everyone's
missed it. It
obsessions with Timberwolves? Like,
Just on sale.
I mean, they only have like 3 museum scale mechs, right? The new Catalyst ones. I know there's more from.
Right. It's a Warhammer and a Timberwolf, and I don't remember if there was another one. But yeah, they were both on sale at the Catalyst store right before Christmas.
Yeah. So there's like, there's the Warhammer, the Marauder, and the Timberwolf. That's everybody's favorite. And I only like 1 out of 3 of those. So I have no nostalgia love for the Marauder or the Warhammer. They can, whatever.
My very, very first game, it was those 2 mechs versus each other.
Yeah. So I would have to go with the Timby. One day.
That's really nice of them to make these 2 Macross models. They're museum pieces to commemorate the lawsuits and history between the Harmony Gold and FASA/Catalyst.
To be honest, I don't think I would have picked up the original box set in 86 if it didn't have the Warhammer on there that I knew from Robotech. I'm like, they have a cool Robotech mech game. I'm buying this.
Think about Denham's other life he could have lived.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going to be honest, Robotech ain't even a good show.
It was great.
No, you try rewatching it now, sir.
Nope, I know I refuse. No. My nostalgia brain says it was wonderful. I'm sticking to it.
All right. So I did not fully disclose all of my December games for all of our episodes because I was participating in the MRC Twilight Heat MegaMek tournament that was briefly hinted at us in our previous episode, MRC 2 Electric Boogaloo thing. So I had 4 9,000 BV MegaMek games against other people in the community.
How'd they go?
They went really well. I will say this was like a last minute night before the deadline list submission. So,
that's the way Josh, you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Both
Josh,
of you like,
I was up the night before making my list. Like my brother in Karinsky, this is how you always do it.
I feel so personally attacked right now.
But it's true.
So this did have faction era restrictions. It had to be Jihad era, and everything had to be available to your faction on master unit list. And with the normal, no uniques, no customs, no
names,
no experimental. So, but other than that, the other main part of that is because MegaMek has currently limited objective ways to like hard write a mission into it. They were just using Headhunter where you kill the enemy commander. So for the scoring for that was if you kill the enemy commander, you get 50 points. If you lose your commander, it's minus 25. And if you kill theirs and they kill yours, it's plus 15 to both of you. So it's a very swingy kill the commander or don't.
Yeah.
So if your commander goes down, you really need to focus on taking their commander out, right?
Yeah. And the rest of the BV spread is roughly 10 points, depending on how much you kill of the regular force. Because it's like a percentage of the 9,000 BV that you start with.
Now, could you pick anybody as commander, or did it have to be like a certain, like the highest BV or something?
So your commander could not be your most expensive or your least expensive BV.
Okay.
It had to be a mech, and no other units could have a skill that was lower than your commander skill. So if your commander was a 2-3, you could not have a 1-2 pilot that was not your commander. Right. So they had to be your best or equal command or skill wise.
Right.
So there were some list restriction in that. And I was like, oh man, that's really weird. I've never thought of the upper/lower BV because most people would just throw their commander in their tankiest, heaviest, most expensive mech and give him the highest skill or give him a weird skew skill.
So this was the only mission because it was the only thing they could run in MegaMek, right?
The only thing they could run reliably and program in for scoring wise.
Okay. Right.
I mean, you're working with a limited toolbox there, so I get it. But I mean that I'm feel like everybody put their commander in some sort of a striker.
Well, it would make sense in that format to put your commander in the most mobile mech that you've got. because you've got to keep him away from the other team. So that's what I think the meta would be, is just, put him in that thing that jumps 8.
And some sort of large pulse laser jumpy 50-tonner thing.
I feel so personally attacked right now, guys.
Is that what you... I mean, that's the obvious answer to me. That's how I would do it. I'd be like, where's the... What's that thing with the...
There's that 699 Phoenix Hawk.
The Gundam tech. Yeah.
Now, your commander did not have to get kills. That was not part of the score. The only score was, is your commander alive at the end of the game, or is their commander alive at the end of the game?
Yeah, so I guess you could take something with no fire. Yeah, but for style points, I'd still take a striker sort of thing.
Oh man, win in the Ostrak with the tag as your only weapon.
Yeah, if you put, or you could like the spider with like the improved jump jets, because that's kind of pricey, and then you throw a stinger in there too to get under, so you bump your commander up to the middle bracket or whatever.
Now, the other part of the restriction is for weapons and special like equipment that you could use. There really was no limit. Like anything that you can sort and configure equipment on MegaMek, you could take. So tandem SRMs.
Whoa.
Mag pulse, like all of those options were allowed.
So this is not Battle Mech Manual. This is the whole.
This is what MegaMek can do with only list building restrictions.
Right. So, but you couldn't like build a custom mech or anything.
You couldn't build custom, but you could put your regular ShadowHawk and load it with alternate ammo for the SRM, the LRM, the AC5. Like, you could make it into a beast.
Well, I mean, it is like a regular ShadowHawk still. So what did you take?
Okay, so I wanted to try out a Snow Raven Jihad list because I was looking at these mechs at the time, and I was like, okay, let's try the weird space list, because at the time my brain thought, oh, it's random maps, which meant you could get anything. But no, it was not that level of random. Don't be ready for the ground not to exist. So
your UMU mechs could have actually come in handy.
That was kind of what I thought. Like a couple of my brain cells were like, you should take an underwater maneuvering unit just in case.
Just in case.
But I took a ShadowHawk 2C7. That is the 5.8 improved jump jet for 8 jumping ShadowHawk. The Warhammer 2C7, the 4.66 jumping Warhammer. Both of those are 4/4. My commander is the ShadowHawk 2C that jumps 8, and he's gunnery 4, piloting 4.
Yeah, jumping 8 is a really good. That's a good TMM.
I'm sorry, everyone.
That's good. Yeah,
I took a Crimson Langer.
Bro, I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. I took. It is a blood spirit. What, Denham? What?
This is why you would never do the BCC tournament where they have to pick this stuff from the Wave 1 and Wave 2 record sheet things, because everybody knows those mechs, and you can't pick something that someone looks at and goes, I don't know what this is, and that's like half your strategy, is them trying to figure out what that is while you just play it.
I will say, I'll save it because it's too good. It's too good to crack open right now. The Crimson Langer, it's a 711 Blood Spirit mech. It's got 4 SRM4s.
No jump jets?
It's got a little jump. But not worth it. It's not 711-7, but it's like
711-5 or something like that. Like Jinner stuff.
It's exactly like that. It's got medium pulses and micro lasers, and it's an Omni. I took a Loki B, our favorite Patron on a budget.
Yep.
That was essentially when I was running out of points to build the list, and I was like, oh no, I've made very expensive mechs. What do I cram in this last? And it's like, all right, let's review Patron on a budget. Oh, Loki B, that's great. Let's shove that in there too.
That episode has got long legs.
And then I was like, I've got some BV left over. What else are we going to take? And I was like, Airy Power Armor Light.
Nice.
You know what they got? Mauser 962Cs. Do you want to know the range that this 1 armor, 1 health power armor has?
Sure.
9 with a laser rifle.
Wow.
And that's 1 armor, 1 health in classic,
In classic.
not in Alpha Strike.
They are a guy in a spacesuit with a gun that's bigger than them.
Nice.
And I was like,
9.
this is the Snow Raven space list, and
It sounds fun.
it does sound fun. I got 1 practice game in before I submitted just to see, all right, do I like these? And I was like, yeah, I like these.
Nice.
My first game was against Sam, also Desert Dream on the Mechbay Discord.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
And he took an Ice Ferret D, 2 Elemental Flamer units,
So nice.
a Stormcrow C, a Dasher H, and a Gargoyle B.
So he just took his Alpha Strike list and made it into classic. That's what this looks like.
Pretty much.
How did you like that Ice Ferret D in Classic?
I hate it.
Yeah, that's a nasty match.
I hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I hated all these except his Gargoyle, which was his commander, thankfully.
Dasher H has the medium heavy lasers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it just runs up behind you and just blow.
Yeah, it's the small heavy lasers.
And they were all 3/4. So this was the not great skill list versus the good skill and good maneuverability list. And
yeah.
That's a lot of
the game go.
That's a lot of pulse lasers in that list.
It is a lot of pulse lasers.
And his commander was the Gargoyle.
Yeah. It was not the highest BV.
I'm looking. Is it probably the Stormcrow C, right?
Stormcrow is the highest BV.
Stormcrow's that's an expensive mech usually.
It is.
Especially with the medium pulse laser hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that game went well. I want to say his mistake was in his deployment where he put his Gargoyle out kind of without much support because the Gargoyle B can jump, if I remember right. No? Yes? Maybe?
Let's look it up. I only know the Gargoyle Prime because I'm a purist. Use the B, configure long range, B, Gauss rifle, LRM-10 launcher, Artemis 4, and SRM-4 launcher. So it's just a sniper.
It's just
Gargoyle.
5.8.
So that's interesting, putting your commander into like a maneuverable assault mech that can snipe from the back line. I get the thinking behind that.
Yeah.
I get it.
The problem was because these maps were procedurally generated or randomly generated, there were a lot of woods on this map. So he had there was a lot of line of sight blocking between him and me. And these were very big maps. These were 22 by 32.
Yeah.
And there were 4 of them. So
that's like roughly 4 map sheets. And there was 4 of those.
There's 16.
Wow. Yeah, that's big. Big.
Yeah, so these were big games. But yeah, so he deploys the Gargoyle like kind of in the woods, the other faster guys on the sides where they could not run through woods, so they could use their speed. And I was like, woods don't matter, sir. Warhammer 2C jump 6.
Yeah.
So my game kind of went with, okay, I'm going to commit the Warhammer 2C and the ShadowHawk 2C in like a pair and go after the Gargoyle. Loki's going to sit back and try to snipe, and the Crimson Langer is going to run up and try to get a nice alpha strike in on the back. I want to say turn 1 or 2, he just puts those Gauss rifles into my Loki and completely like strips the arm of it right there.
Woo. I mean, it is a Loki, so
yeah, it doesn't have great armor.
No, lots of guns, very little armor.
Yeah, so it opens up pretty much the side torso, and I was like, ooh, didn't want that out the gate. So I'm blinking away. I'm a little overly cautious, but also weirdly aggressive. Like I'm aggressive, but I'm not committing when I'm aggressing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a weird like starter game. I also don't have a lot of MegaMek experience, so I'm used to like reading my opponent and playing off of those things, and not being able to see like the statistical best move, which MegaMek lets you do.
Right. Yeah, that's a big part of MegaMek is not being able to get that sense and feel of your opponent.
Yeah, you can't look at their poker face. You can't watch them. It kind of removes that whole layer of the game.
Yeah.
I was able to jump and kick the gargoyle. It doesn't go down. It's a 3-4 pilot. I don't know why I was expecting, take it out that fast, but it's limping by the time the Dasher has opened up the Warhammer 2C's rear, which is what a Dasher H does.
It is.
The Loki is also struggling. I'm trying to think. That game was a while back, so my brain's a little rusty on the things. Crimson Langer essentially is getting stepped on by the gargoyle. But it has 4 SRM4, so it wants to be roughly point blank.
Yeah.
Right.
And get in there.
That's when I drop off the Power Armor Ares. This was also when we determined you cannot configure units with armored gloves in MegaMek, and because they lose their weapons if you change their skill.
Oh no!
So they left their big gun at home.
Yes. So for this entire game, all they had was
Mausers.
Gloves. They did not have their Mausers. They were just like dudes in
fisticuffs
in fancy suits with fists.
Nice.
And I'll say this: they did some leg damage that game.
I mean, yeah, you go for the not the swarm attack, the other one, the leg attack.
Yeah, the leg attack.
Yeah, if they don't have a gun,
put them to work.
Get those crits.
They did not get any crits though.
Yeah.
But after a whole bunch of fighting, the gargoyle is limping away with one structure on one of its legs, and I was like, "Oh man, the Loki has this LB5, which was perfectly designed for this." Dasher comes up to it and just like blows it up. It was a great game. I ended up killing the Dasher, and all I had left at the end was the ShadowHawk 2C7. And I am jumping around for 8.
Mm-hmm.
And
what are they going to do?
I mean, they can still do something. And I was able to jump and get after taking out the gargoyle's leg, he falls, goes unconscious from a couple other SRM head hits.
Mm-hmm.
I jump, and I'm like, I can aim shot his torso on like, a 4 or 5. But I could hit his head on an 11 after jumping. And I was like, I have 3 weapons. I have an ER large, an ER medium, and a medium pulse that can target the head. And I was like, do I risk this entire game on an 11 up?
Yeah.
Every time. And I put the laser through his cockpit, killing his commander. I was like, all right.
Peace.
Yeah. So then I start running away. By this time, I'm in forced withdrawal. So it's like, okay, I can get my commander off for like half points. And I just like me without knowing the true scoring of the game. Like, okay, I've killed his commander. I know that was the objective, but I've lost everything. So at this point, I'm still feeling like the BV counts more than killing the commander. So I, rather than just jump around and draw out the game, I go for the honorable, like, all right, let's see what we can do. And he completely annihilates me. So that game, I lose 11-54 at the end of it.
Right. But like you said, it's because you didn't understand how the scoring system worked.
Yes. So because I did not know that this was a 16-man tournament, so you use the 16-man scoring. So there were a lot of other factors that all of the scoring is done behind the scenes for this one. Like you literally sent your game files in and they got scored from that.
Okay.
I was like, oh.
How's this work?
Yeah. And I was like, and me and Sam actually talked after, and we're like, okay, so this is how the scoring works. And based on this, like, here's your statistic. Like, he did a statistical analysis of my post game, like every shot I made, and there were plots, there were graphs. And it was actually really cool to see, like, hey, I had skill 3, you had skill 4, you had skill 4 that jumped, I had skill 3 that ran. You were hitting me on average like 2 or 3 dice rolls, probabilities higher than I was. Like I was getting more shots in the like 7-8 band, and you were getting more shots in the 9-10-11 band.
Right. Huge difference.
So it was just kind of cool to see, like, yes, there was some, like, all of the game kind of reduced down to a chart of shots made and shots done. He was like, this little 11 right here, you made 4 11s, and one of those was to kill the commander. I was like, that's pretty dope.
Yep.
That'll do it.
But so after that game, I've understood more of the scoring and how to effectively play the games. like I said, killing the commander is worth 50, and killing everything else is just worth like 10 or so. I'm like, that's not a lot. It's really just kill the commander. And I was like,
Kill the commander.
I was like,
Yep.
man, I wish I had built a list that was better at not killing the commander. So, game 2, I get paired up with Derek from On the Origins of Battle Mechs.
What's up, Derek?
Derek brought a Templar, a Koshi G, a Spider 7M, an Axeman, a Penetrator 4D, and a Dart 3S.
And his commander was the Penetrator.
His commander was the Penetrator.
Ah.
And he had loaded that bad boy up with a whole lot of precision ammo.
So how well did the precision ammo work? Because I've been curious about that.
It worked pretty well, but he ran out of it so fast.
Oh, really?
These were 15 turn games, and
Yeah.
I think by like turn 8 or so, he was out. Because every turn,
His precision is half tonnage, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Half. Yep.
So he's got half as much ammo in that Penetrator. The Penetrator still has a lot of pulse lasers, though, so it's still force to be reckoned with. Yeah, that game, the best way I can put it is his Axeman and my Warhammer 2C got into a like dueling match with a single level 1 hill in between them. Like, okay, who can win initiative and all that? He's like, oh, I finally got you now. You've lost initiative. And he's like, you can't move more further away than my Axeman can move. And I was like, yeah, but I got 6 jump jets and you don't. And I jump over a line of heavy woods, and he was like, crap.
Yeah. Jump 6, a surprise jump 6 is I don't
An assault mech.
All I could think is that Star Wars meme. It's like, they fly now. They fly now. Yeah. But that game, it was a lot of like one-on-one dueling. He had me outnumbered, so he was constantly like picking at my flanks. But he did the classic player's biggest mistake, which is putting units on the board's edge to protect your rear arc.
Oh no!
You're gonna get pushed, bud.
And I tried to push him.
Okay.
And I failed. I failed like the 8 up to push him off with my commander. I was like, oh no. So I like had to duck away and all that. And we fight. We do some intermittent skirmishing, and he backs up to it again. And I was like, I need to do
one push.
Yeah, I tried once and failed, but can I do it again? And I was like, come on, MegaMek, give it to me.
Gotta try.
And I push him off for the commander to commander kill.
Nice. And all of these maps are on this huge 1,000-mile cliff. It drops into lava.
Out of action is out of action. He's left the theater.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so I killed the commander. And I hate to say it, but I just played keep away, winning initiative every turn after his commander died.
Oh, man.
Like, I had killed a...
I've been on both sides of that, where somebody will just have a mech that jumps a certain amount, and if they could just keep jumping from woods to woods to woods, and your 2 hits are 11 up, it gets frustrating. But that does not stop me from doing the exact same thing. If my mech is designed for it, that's what I'm going to do, because that's how you win with that kind of mech.
Timberwolf TC from heavy woods to heavy woods.
Yeah. Every turn.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It hurts. But,
so you did well on that one?
Yeah. So I won that game by killing his commander and losing the rest of my force. But I win 53-3.
Because your commander was
alive. Because my commander was still alive and his was dead. I had a plus 50. So,
yeah. So the commander is what counts, and everything else is just meat shield.
Just gravy. Yeah. Yeah. It's really just our lives for the coordinator.
That's right.
So, game
cinematic.
I mean, it is. It's like, Star Captain, we have one objective: kill that target. Nothing else matters. Except me living.
Me alive.
Yes, keeping me alive.
Keeping me alive also matters.
But no, it was definitely a different way to play. Like, it kind of forced me to think on like when to overcommit and when to undercommit, because I can't risk my commander being out of position.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Troops, we have one objective, and it is to kill that commander. And I will be with you in spirit, viewing from afar on that hill way over there.
I will say my ShadowHawk was always, I don't want to say in the thick of it, but it was always somewhere close by. Like, it was always popping shots.
Yeah.
I paid for the ATM ammo. I'm going to use the ATM extended ammo.
Yeah.
Game 3, I play Brad, also known as Deviant ID, also the winner of the Atlantic City Open's Battletech Tournament Championship Circuit.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it was nice getting to play him. He brought a list that someone else had built and fought against him, and he wanted to try it out. And I think he said, I made a mistake because the only legal commander here is the Urban Mech that I brought.
Oh, no.
And that Commander Urban Mech, was that an Urban Mech AIV?
Yes.
AIV?
I hate everyone so much. So Brad brought 2 Longbow 13Cs. Those are the 7 those are the MML 7s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Y'all are weird.
No, I there was a local who ran a regular longbow. Never mind. Yeah, that's a fun longbow because it can do both. It's a Swiss Army longbow. You want short range? I got short range. You want long range? I can get you long range.
I feel like that's like the knifey spooning. Like, on one hand, I'm a knife to stab you. On the other hand, I'm a spoon to scoop your eyeballs out.
That's right.
He brought a MegaMek DDA, a Nodachi 2KO, and 2 Urban Mech Aero 4s at Gunnery 2, Piloting 3.
Gotta have good gunnery to land those artillery shots.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, remember when I said it was whatever you could configure equipment wise was pretty much legal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some fancy
Can you put the nukes in there?
No nukes was the only rule.
Oh, okay. No Davy Crockett.
He did have fuel.
That would have been funny.
He did have fuel air bombs.
Nice. So the next best thing.
The next best thing. So turn 1, I've jumped, I've landed, and I hit done, and it's like, your ShadowHawk 2C is taking 40 damage. Warhammer 2C takes 40 damage. It's like, what the heck?
What
and
happened?
It's like, oh, I jumped at the most probable location for an indirect artillery strike, and and Brad's a smart guy and knows where I'm going. And for like the next 3 turns, I'm just like, Warhammer 2C takes 20 damage. And I was like, oh God, make it stop.
Make it stop.
And his Urban Mechs are like behind a level 1 in the far back, just shooting indirect. Like, they just need to plot the course.
That's right. You just gotta guess. Guess good.
And he guessed good a lot. The map had given the 2 longbows like a nice little firing perch in some heavy woods, like on a level 1 and 2. I was like, oh my God. They're right next to each other, and the Nodachi and the MegaMek are running interference. And I was like, I'm completely outmatched tonnage, shots, and skill-wise on this. So I was like, I got one choice, and that's a Hail Mary right to his Urban Mechs.
Josh just had to roll the 11.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. I try to send the Crimson Langer just running around. He, like, longbows flip. He puts fuel air bombs to instant kill the battle armor, and I'm like, bro, they got 2 health. You don't need to fuel air bomb them. They already dead. And yeah, no, it's I kill 1 Urban Mech, like the not commander one, because it was closest. And I was like, okay, can I do the second one? And I do some shots on it, and the Warhammer 2C jumps around, and he's like, okay, I'm in heavy woods. I got a good shot at this, and he drops prone behind a level 1 in woods. And I was like, oh my God, this is some big brain energy. Because I was like, as a tabletop classic player, I don't even think about that. I don't think about dropping prone normally. But in MegaMek, there's just the buttons, like drop prone. And Brad knows if you drop prone and you're not adjacent, you don't have line of sight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just turn this Warhammer 2C and look at your Nodachi. And I put a small pulse laser through his cockpit.
Ooh.
What you gonna do with that small laser?
Like, he was like, the disrespect for the small laser at the cockpit to kill the Nodachi. I was like, I'm sorry. So I have to spend. What is it? So the Crimson Langer has died trying to get to this commander mech. The Warhammer 2C dies trying to get to the urban mech. The Loki does not have the maneuverability, so it's like behind a level 1, taking pot shots at the Jaeger mech. It's not doing great. And I was like, okay, well, I guess all I have really left is the ShadowHawk, and I have to jump next to it. Overheat to put everything in. Still miss. Jump to another thing. Kick it to finally like down it enough to count it as forced withdrawal, and I'm playing jump away. Yeah, the Loki.
So you had to wait for it to back off the map while you just.
I had to wait until it was forced withdrawal, so he would be forced by rules to stand it up and get it off. And I was like, okay, so I'll get half points for kills for killing the commander. The Loki puts its LB5 and Gauss rifle through the urban mech to get the kill before it could walk off. And I was like, yes, yes. And my God, that was by now there's like 5 turns left. I am jumping for my life. The Arrow 4 is gone because I took that off first because I couldn't handle a smart player estimating, okay, he's going to hit this woods and just taking 40 damage. Like there's no, like, my jumping is completely counter.
Yeah, completely negated.
Yep. So now he's
because it doesn't care about TMM.
Artillery the jumpers.
Yeah.
Artillery the dashers.
So I've got 2 longbows walking, and they can switch between SRM or LRM, so I'm not safe at either range. I've got the Jaeger mech with precision ammo on the hunt. And I was like, oh my God. Like, every turn is like, who wins initiative? And it's me again. Like, I hate to say, but MegaMek was looking out for your boy by winning initiative almost every game. So I'm jump, and the last turn, he like just barely scratches me, but it was tense playing a very intelligent player that knew exactly how to exploit a list that they didn't even build.
Right, but it was used against them at one point,
yes.
Right? Nice.
So,
well, congratulations on the lucky win.
Yeah, all right. I won that one another 54-3 because killing the commanders, like I said, worth 50, and I killed a little bit more
points,
on that one.
Yeah.
My last game was against Sacred Defiler. He brought a Karita C3 list, which it was very fun playing that. He brought a Naginata C3A, an Archer 9K, a Mauler 1K, Spider 7KC, and Raiden Battle Armor, and a Katana 5003, with his Archer 9K as the commander. Now, Naginata is the C3 master, and all of these are 4 or 5. And I was like, hey, finally some 4 or 5 pilots. Man, I feel good to be here. And he's like, hey, do you want me to take off the tandem charges? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, all of my SRM mechs have tandem charges. I was like, oh my God, make it stop. This one hurt.
So how did that go, Josh?
Thankfully, my Warhammer 2C has an ECM. That's the range of its jumping.
Nice.
6 hex jump, 6 hex ECM. So I was able to put that guy kind of in. I was able to kind of play around with visually seeing where ECM would block, which was really nice because on tabletop,
MegaMek does a great job with that. Yeah,
so nice. Out the gate, I was like, he's got C3. The only way to negate all of his range bonuses, because his spider, his jump a lot spider, he's got a spot for everything. I was like, oh no, please no. Crimson Langer runs up to the Archer, puts everything into it. Loki from range puts everything into it. I get the Archer to go down.
Whoa.
Like, fails the 20 damage PSR with, like, I want to say I got either a gyro or like a hip. Essentially, it was a hard move. And I was like, oh my God, he's down. I have to exploit this. So I start committing everything. And it's like, hey, those C3 mechs are still active. They start peppering me so hard. Oh God. The Crimson Langer, like, his Archer falls again behind a level 1. I'm like, okay, I can't see him. This is the same thing with the Urban Mech going prone. I have to get around this curve in the terrain to kill him. The Crimson Langer stack pulls.
Ooh.
because stackpole rules were there was a lot of like optional rules in this. So the optional rules for this, if going off it, were like the alternate ammos, walking backwards uphill, level changes, and stack poles. Or I should say engines going critical from 4 engine hits in one phase.
Yes. Was he adjacent to anybody important?
He was, I want to say, he was on top of some airy power armors. He was next to some more power armors. He was next to his power armor, or battle armor. And he was right in the middle of his entire force.
Well, okay then.
Yeah. The problem with that is it did not kill his archer. Like, even taking a engine critical explosion, the archer still did not die.
Jeez.
The problem was is the archer had enough damage that it was unable to stand, but in forced withdrawal. So
what do you do? Is that like an instant power down?
So the current rules is he is not forced to leave if he does not eject. He cannot leave, but he counts as forced withdrawal. So there's like a weird points difference for that. And I was like, okay, well, I just need to like kill the rest of his guys. It did not go well for me on that. Yeah, by then I was like, okay, I have to take out the C3 Master, then it's a regular battle mech game. So I get the Warhammer 2C to jump behind his Naginata, and I'm putting some great rear shots on him, and the spider jumps behind me, and I realize Sacred is also a good player, and he is not backed up to the terrain. But my Warhammer 2C, by jumping behind him, is now backed up to the edge of the map. Yeah. I was like,
that sounds intentional to me. That was nicely played.
Yeah, it was a risky opening that he could exploit. And I realized as soon as I saw it, I was like, I can jump there and get shots and a kick or shots and a punch and just completely destroy this Naginata right out the gate. But it leaves me open to a jump from a spider and a push.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's see what he does. And well, just like I pushed Derek, Sacred Defiler pushed me. But thankfully it wasn't my commander.
Hey, what goes around comes around.
Yeah. The rest of the game is me jumping around with the ShadowHawk, as running out the time.
Running out the time.
He is shooting woods. He is trying to negate any heavy woods he sees. Because thankfully, even with C3, jumping is +4, and in a heavy woods is +6. So a 4 or 5 with +6 is a 10 up. And if you move, it's 11. If any other movement, it's a 12. So the best he's hitting me on is a 10 or 9. So those were all 4 games. I won that one 44-6 because the state his archer was in. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So those were some weird games in the sense of like, I've never played a mission so entirely focused on headhunting. And that's fine. This was they literally put it in the rules. Like, here's how you score the games. Here's the mission. This is the only objective we're using for this. So you could really build the list just for headhunting.
But until you play one or two, it's hard to really wrap your head around the little details.
Yeah, until I played Sam and like we talked it out after, because that's something I'm really used to at in-person tournaments. Is like, okay, read the mission when you get there with your opponent, talk about it, talk about how the scoring works, talk about how the mission works, and then after, like you literally are adding up the scores with your opponent to make sure you're doing it right. Because it wasn't like this, I had a hard time seeing that until after a game where we essentially had the recap.
Right.
But
so how'd you do in overall?
Overall, I placed 5th.
You said this was a 16-person tournament?
Yeah.
Nice.
The winner was Pirate 44.
But putting this in here, I think it was important. I think, because it was a tournament.
It was my last tournament of 2022.
Yeah, and not putting like the fact that we couldn't talk about your games leading up to it because it was an ongoing tournament.
I didn't want to affect anyone's
play. Exactly. It would have.
Yeah. So Pirate 44 won in first place. Vapor Lock got second place. Jesty
Grats.
got third, and Deviant ID got fourth.
Nice.
So I'll take it. For someone with single-digit hours of MegaMek before this, it was really nice to kind of learn all the things you could do in MegaMek.
Yeah.
Like, this was a trial by fire, like trial by Inferno, or for that last game, trial by Tandem SRM, which took out my Loki.
Right? So are those as vicious as we thought they would be?
If you only have an SRM 6, no. If you have an entire list designed around putting Tandem SRMs downrange, yes. Because then you're just fishing for hits. It's like running like running an LB 20 list and waiting to get golden BBs or headshots.
Yeah, you get a Kentaro out there with tandems.
Oh yeah,
that should do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, what is an Archer 9K? For MML 5s. So yeah.
It's too many archers.
I should also say the reason why I couldn't kill his archer is because while he was down and his mech could not move, his pilot was conscious and was firing smoke LRMs point blank into him, giving him heavy smoke. And I was not adjacent. And
smart.
Yeah, no,
smart.
Like I said, I saw maneuvers in this tournament that I would never see on tabletop just because of how easy it was to kind of plot out what your best maneuver was, and then that freed up brain energy and brain space for those high level plays, which was really cool to see.
I love it.
So would you guys do a MegaMek tournament after listening to this?
I almost did this one. This one happened right as my work caught on fire. So I remember when you were talking about building your list, and I'm like, yeah, that's something that I'm going to do. And then all hell broke loose. So
yeah,
I did not. I would 100% do a MegaMek tournament like this.
There's only one way to learn how to do it. Why not?
I will definitely say doing the MRC Twilight Heat MegaMek tournament definitely has made me into a better MegaMek player.
Yeah.
Like I was doing things that they do not know because they don't play the people that I play don't play as much tabletop classic. So like the back of the board and the pushing and like knowing what to not do to allow these options to happen is something that they might not know that a classic tabletop player might know a little bit more. Because like we're used to our opponent just saying, "Oh, you can't do that," and we're like, "Why?" And we show them the rule book and we make them explain. MegaMek just says unable to do sometimes.
Right. MegaMek has all the rules, and you can't argue with MegaMek, and MegaMek is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. But yeah, so that was my tournament. So I'm done. I was done for 2022.
Nice.
We'll skip fan mail. How about that?
Yep. we could do that one later.
We'll do the fan mail sode. Actually, we have enough fan mail to do a fan mail sode.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Oh, yes. I don't forward anything to you guys.
No kidding.
I'm sorry. This is this episode's call to action. If you have any questions about BattleTech lore, gameplay, rules, units, literally anything you want us to answer, whether it be what do you think Victor Steiner Davion has for breakfast, or what do you think the most effective unit in 3072 is? Like, whatever it is, send it to us, and we will probably do an entire episode about fan mail answering questions. So send those into the mechbaypodcast@gmail.com.
It's okay.
All right. So we've got event calendar. The big one is we've got LVO next week. Woo! We've got BattleTech Championship Circuit Classic games, and we got Wolfnet 350 Alpha Strike games. So good luck to all the players going to that. May all of your rolls be 12s.
Or at least 11s. That seems to be all you need, really.
I mean, if you gamble a game on an 11, you're guaranteed to win one. But yeah, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into some recap for 2022 and goals for 2023.
Oh, yeah.
BattleTech.
Okay, here's a challenge. You're in the cockpit of a mall. You're surrounded by hunchbacks. What do you do? You don't want to hurt.
Take your best shot. BattleTech. Each BattleTech maximum separately with Vineyard.
All right, Mechwarriors. The year's over. It's time to debrief all of your 2022 mech kills, deployments, journeys, and collecting C-bills.
Everything. It's time to clean out the command couch.
That's right. It is time for the yearly hosing out of Dustin's command couch. Yes.
That's right.
Just Dustin's. Oh my God. We actually did say in a previous episode we only clean our command couches out once a year.
Yeah. So it's time.
All right. So 2022 was a big year for Battletech. I don't want to say it was as big a year as 2021 or 2020.
Nah. It was a big year, though.
It's a big year.
And that's good. Like every year seems to be a big year for Battletech recently, which makes me happy.
Yeah, since the beginner, a game of Armored Combat. Yeah, that was the beginning of the just banger after banger. But
we saw a whole bunch of lore released, so much that I probably am not even going to release or list it. We had premium miniatures released. We had Tamar Rising, the first Ill Clan source book, finally get released. We had salvage boxes for all of our compulsive gambling problems.
And we've all got them.
I bought 0 salvage boxes.
Oh man, we cannot I
know.
Can't find them anymore. You just can't find them anymore.
It's because I don't make the Tuesday night games. I would have done it. Let's be clear, but
you can't right now because there are no salvage boxes.
There you go.
Denham, let's start with you. What was your favorite 2022 release for Battletech that you kind of look fondly back on?
I mean, honestly, for me, I think A Time of War is a really good release. We've been waiting years for that reprint, and it finally came out. And now I have to finish reading it and do some stuff with it. But I've been looking for that one for a long time. So I will say the A Time of War reprint.
Okay. Dustin, what about you? What's your highlight release product?
It's funny because I still am not done reading it, but Empire Alone as the Merrick boy. Easy.
Easy answer.
Ill Clan Merrick lore. I'm into it. The 8th on 8th battle. Come on.
This is good the stuff. Most Merrick's ever gotten, historically.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And it's been great. I've been loving it. How about you? What's your favorite release?
Oh man. So for me, it's probably got to be the premium miniatures.
Okay.
But I don't want to say all of them. Not all premium miniatures have been equal.
I think the word premium was probably a misnomer there.
For me or them?
No, like the miniatures that came out, there were a lot of problems. I bought them all. I did. But
I would know.
But the amount of, errors that they had in several batches, it didn't feel premium. It felt exclusive.
Ah, there you go. Exclusive.
So what was your favorite premium mech, Josh?
I mean, they still say they call the Wolfhound 2C a premium on their news site. And let's see. Then they don't announce the Hammerhead product in the news. They just say the miniature issue. I'm going to go with the Hammerhead was my favorite miniature released.
It looks so cool.
It
does.
Now, this is me ignoring all of the issues, production, distribution.
Right. And yeah, I had some problem ones, but they did ship me the proper torsos, and I have 3 perfect Hammerheads out of that.
I don't even have a perfect one. I don't even have a perfect one, and I still
I do
like it.
Yeah, they look good.
I still would put it up there for my favorite. This is our first Ill Clan era plastic miniature. It does not exist in any other era. That was kind of cool for me to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my favorite. I painted mine up. It looks great. I wanted to do some much cooler things, but I got to use it in Southern Assault. So that was kind of a highlight for me.
Yeah.
That's my favorite product. The Wolfhound 2C was okay. The Timberwolf was cool. And the Eris was a thing. The Eris is a Merrick mech. I don't know how I feel about that.
I like how I ended up posing mine. I like that you can pose a lot of those. And I like my Eris. It looks nice. But the Hammerhead just looks...
That's cool.
It looks really good. It looks powerful, like a compact, powerful it looks like a war machine.
I'll take that.
So,
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. So that's Catalyst 2022. Like, we know everything they did, which was a lot. Like, we got Shrapnel, we got mechs, we got
Source books,
we got promises that never got fulfilled. I'm still waiting.
couple minis. Yeah.
Shrapnel is only getting better too. Like, it is started strong and it's still just got good articles every time.
I don't know, man. This last Shrapnel had a Black Knight with construction mech parts on it.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Look what they did to my boy. Story was good. I read it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Give me more,
Nice.
please.
It's like, my opinion remains.
So that's what Catalyst did.
How much did you guys do though? Like, give me the because hobby is multiple parts. Hobby is buying.
True.
Hobby is painting. Hobby is assembly. Hobby is games. Hobby is tournaments. That people think that, oh, he's a hobbyist, he only does so much. No. What was your whole hobby breakdown? I want who wants to go first? Do you want me? Do you want
I can go first.
Okay. Denham, give me your hobby 2022 breakdown.
I did my very first Alpha Strike tournament ever this year.
You did your first Alpha Strike this year, I feel like, in general.
That's true. I mean, the tournament was for me to learn how to play Alpha Strike so that I could demo games properly for the store that I play at. And I learned by doing. So
Might as well do it.
yeah, so I did a Nova, and it was fantastic, and I felt that I learned an incredible amount doing that. Also, this year alone,
You also got third place, which is nothing to shake up.
I'm
nothing.
sorry, what?
You got third place at Nova.
Say
Second.
that what?
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
thought it was second.
We came in first and second.
The disrespect.
I'm sorry for some reason. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I reiterate that I feel that I learned an awful lot playing it. So I feel qualified now to run demo games for my local store.
That's good. That's awesome.
Speaking of the local store, this year I think I've played 50 days of BattleTech approximately at the store.
Awesome.
On average,
I want to
5
say
times
it's
a
more
month.
than that, actually.
I know that I missed a couple days because of either work issues or birthday issues or being out of town for tournaments. So
Average it
like
out.
five times a month is about 60. So I'm saying I probably missed up to 10 of those. So it's probably in the low 50s, which is a record for me. I have never played that many days of BattleTech in 1 year
That's
ever.
a lot.
It is a lot.
It's impressive.
Looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder I got burnt out once. But it's been fun, and I've learned a whole lot, and I think I've taught a lot of people
Mhm.
a whole lot more.
That's big time hobby progress right there. New
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah, lots of new players. Yeah, I mean we've nope, lost it.
That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. I think you have significantly triple digits in the hours of BattleTech played, though.
Probably yes. Now, I mean, are they all games that I played for my own enjoyment? I don't know how many hours I put into that, but if teaching counts, which I think it does, yeah, I have put in
Easily 200 hours.
hundreds of hours this year playing BattleTech. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed 92% of it.
Games wise, I definitely got more games in 2022 than I did in 2021. So I'm happy about that. I did get the one tournament in Southern Assault again. Had a great time, but games wise, still a tough year for me. I get the little ones, they get older. I'm hoping for more next year, but that was pretty much it. I got to play a couple of the Escalation League games. I did swing a couple of those in the mid-year, but that's pretty much
ran
it.
a tournament too, right?
Oh, I did. I had a lot of people drop out. That was a bit of a bummer, but when we get to the 2023 section, I will talk to you about that a little bit, Denham, because I have questions.
Okay, that sounds good.
But yeah, I put in the work. I made. I had a lot of people sign up when I made trophies, which makes sense. You know, people want to play at tournaments where there are trophies to win.
Those were beautiful trophies.
They are. They
you.
really were.
Thank you. And then I had, I figure I will have a 50% dropout rate. So I was expecting 8 to 10 people, and that ended up being 4. So that was rough. It was my birthday on that day, and then it was a bit of a. I had to power through that day, but I think the people who played at the tournament had a good time. They said they did. We have a local Raleigh Classic BattleTech reigning champion, because I'm the only one that's been running the classic tournaments, and they've been won by the same person twice. Big fish, small pond, but you know, maybe we can change that in 2023.
Promise you do them when I can't go.
You were originally able to go, and then I think you had a wedding come up, and then Denham's work caught on fire.
But my work caught on fire. Yeah, that caused a lot of problems this year.
I had a set of brothers, and they were each other's ride, and their car broke down. I mean, I don't know. I know your guys' excuses.
The universe said nobody plays BattleTech this day.
Yeah. Also this year with my work schedule, because I was changing jobs, and I kind of couldn't foresee what if I was going to be able to swing a Saturday. I had to run it on Sunday, which is a tough day for people.
It is
to make. So,
yeah.
But if I have another tournament, I'll just do it on Saturday, because now I know I can take a Saturday off. So it was just the way the stars. It was all against my tournament this year. That's my excuse. So I guess I did run a tournament, but yeah. Josh, how about you? Outside of your tournaments?
Yeah.
I don't
play anything.
Yeah, I don't run tournaments. I win
You
tournaments.
play in it.
So I did my 3 tournaments, which is I want to do more, but that's also a goal. I did Southern Assault, I did Nova, I did the Twilight Heat. So I finally got in my classic tournament that I wanted to do, because I haven't done one of those since really I've started the podcast, and it's kind of like, hey,
This is a classic.
This is a classic focused podcast, or at least I don't want to say classic focus, but
there's certainly a lot of things got in the way over and over and over again. So yeah, that's good to get the Twilight Heat in.
Yeah. So it's good to know that I know what I'm doing. I can fight some very intelligent and very strong BattleTech classic players and still do pretty well. Losing most of my forces in those hurts a little bit, but you know, it's objectives achieved, Commander.
That was their job.
Yeah. I got some local games in, but not as many pickup games as the previous years. And I'm trying to, I think that might have been also like your problem. Like my schedule just never aligned, especially when my Tuesdays, my regular local gaming day is kind of like no longer available to me. So it's hard for me to like rearrange my schedule, and it's hard to get pickup games on non-pickup days.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
So
I feel your pain.
So most of my, I would say, pickup style, like here's a BV, just bring whatever you want. We're going to play like no holds bar. We're actual tournaments instead. And that's kind of my preferred style of like, just set a BV or a points limit, and I'll bring whatever, and we fight it out.
I used to do Tuesday nights, 2019. I got like 40 games in. Not since, but we're working on it.
Yeah. But I did kind of start the Escalation League to help both me and you play, which we scheduled it on your day off.
We got some in.
Yeah, and that
appreciate that.
That was a way for me to like organize regular pickup games where it was like, hey, the BV's not announced, but bring a force and you'll build your force at the table to do the mission.
Yeah, I love the format of those.
So it was fun for me to write missions for that. Then I kind of persuaded you to change your missions format, Denham.
Oh, I'm so happy that we changed the mission, what we called missions, to what we now call campaigns at our local store. It is so much better than it was when it started. So only getting better.
Yeah. So I think my year would probably be less game focused and more like mission writing focused.
Mm-hmm.
It's either the hyper competitive part or the at home writing how to make competitive but also fun games. That's my look back. I feel like.
I mean, the missions, the missions we do in campaigns are good, and people like them a lot. So I'd say keep going, please.
I mean, I will say it's nicer and easier to write like a narrative focus where the balance isn't the most important as long as people are having fun.
Yep.
So the goal for me writing those is always make it fun, make it memorable, and I feel like I've hit those every time.
I think most people have a lot of fun with it. Only a few people complain, but then again, I think those few people would complain no matter what.
All right. Let's talk about some painting, assembling, and other like on the desk hobby work. What have you gotten done in 2022, Denham?
Hey, I got Smoke Jaguars painted. I finally figured out how to do those spots, which was a big problem. And this is the year, 2022 is the year that I finally figured it out. And nice. That made me very happy.
It made me happy to finally see these, Jaguars materialize out of thin air.
Yeah, just one day not there, next day plow.
It's like, oh man, this matches the lore completely.
Beautiful.
Yep. Very, very happy about that. Which is why I'm now doing Jade Falcons and Merrick, because why not? How hard could yellow be?
I'm going to be real with you, son. It's real hard.
It's real hard.
No, I know the trick now. You paint the whole thing yellow, and then you paint the green on top of it, even though the green is 80% of it. Yes. I know.
Also, use that airbrush.
Yeah.
That is a goal of mine for 2023 is to use my airbrush a whole lot more. I have it. I probably need to get a new compressor, but
does it work? Does it put out air?
Sometimes that's the problem. Is sometimes it puts out air, and sometimes it goes and it doesn't.
Sounds like a compressor problem.
I know, right? But I'm gonna put some money into my airbrush. And I'm going to make it work because I've been watching people do cool airbrush things, and I'm like, that would make my job a lot easier.
So were your Jaguars the only thing you painted this year?
I've painted a lot of random things. I painted quite a few Kurita forces because I'm always trying to bring, make that army bigger, so I have more to choose from.
That's like your primary faction, though, right?
Right. My primary Intersphere faction. The Smoke Jaguars I'm the most proud of because I was the most frustrated with until it worked. And then, I've got a third faction, a mercenary faction that I'm just playing around with, but it's still in the trying to figure out the colors phase. Obviously I've also painted a bunch of terrain, but terrain is terrain.
Okay.
However, I did finally take one of my Timberwolf TC models, and I cut it all into pieces and cut a Loki up into pieces. I assembled my very first really nice looking Timberwolf A finally.
Nice.
So that is assembled. It's posed. It looks really, really good in my opinion.
And they will announce the Timberwolf A tomorrow.
That is exactly what's going to happen. And I'll buy one, but I will always keep this one. I will probably just relegate this to a diorama in that case, and just paint it up super nice and just have it on a shelf somewhere, so I could point at it and say, "Yep, that's the one I made." And then all these are the ones I bought. But I have fielded it on the battlefield several times now, so I'm happy about that. It when you put that down and everyone's like, well, that looks like a Timberwolf, but different. I'm like, yeah, you know what this is. So very happy about that.
All right, Dustin, what about you now?
I printed some terrain, painted up some terrain for that scale ambiguous stuff, scale ambiguous stuff for the solo war game and / Battletech stuff. I finished up some terrain that I had printed last year but hadn't painted yet. I counted for this episode roughly 60 models this year, which is
nice.
Less than 2021, but 2021 was like a Indominus Necron fever dream situation.
You were going hard. Like I was worried. I was like, I don't know anyone who paints this fast, this well, this hard.
I painted a lot in 2021. I did okay in 2022. I still happy about my performance at Southern Assault. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I also made 2 sculpts. I got my the demon sculpt and the Zon, which I used in Southern Assault. I sculpted my own Zon because it didn't exist. That's a problem for a lot of Dark Age minis in classic BattleTech scale, not clicky tech scale.
Why is that?
Yeah, right. But I learned some lessons from those sculpts. Some things, if I ever did sculpt again, for BattleTech minis that don't exist, I learned some lessons for that scale. Because I'd only done the ships the prior year, and ships are ship scale, and BattleTech vehicles are BattleTech vehicle scale. So there's some different things I should have done. And yeah, so that was it. The terrain, the models, roughly 60. It's a mix of BattleTech, a little bit of 40K, and the sculpts. But yeah, how about you, Josh? What did you? What kind of hobby assembling, painting, and terraining did you do in 2022?
Bro, I painted like 35 miniatures all year.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. I thought I had done more. I think that's because I will airbrush stuff to like 60% completion, and then I'll just leave it until I'm ready to use it.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm not using something, I'm not putting that last 10, 20, 30% of the paint on it. But that's like where I spend the majority of my time, is like the detail work, like the lensing and the metal rust effects and the wear and tear and basing terrain. So I completed to like showpiece quality 33, 35 models. And I want to say that's an accomplishment for me.
Yeah.
Because I got
nothing.
I got my Escalation League force done. I got my Southern Assault list with the Ares Super Heavy painted with, all of those new mechs. I got
Nova.
I got my Nova stuff. My level 2 Comstar done with inventory and vehicles and all the fun stuff that entails. And I want to say I painted each one of those like the same level of. It might not win awards in like a true painting contest, but I'm pretty sure it's some of the best BattleTech models I've seen.
Nice. At
least in comparison to yours, Dustin. It's the best I could do.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we do.
So that's my painting. I've assembled a lot. Did some, I don't want to say homebrew, but like kit bashing. Like I made that Vulture Mark III from a regular Vulture. Like I cut off the arms and I did the custom job for that.
Someone was just talking about your Vulture at last Tuesday when I went there to the game. They asked if you were coming by because they wanted to see that Vulture again.
It's funny because I don't think it's that good. Like
it for the people who played the games a lot, the video games, it talks to them. Yeah. So
that's a Vulture that they remember, not the Vulture that's in plastic.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I guess because I played Mechwarrior 4 and Mech Commander. Like,
do you have it?
Yeah,
I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Show me.
What?
Yeah, show me the. Hey, there it is. Yeah, that's it.
It's amazing.
Short, stubby arms.
I can see Commander whatever getting gunned down by a Nova. Yeah. What was it? A Nova Cat?
Yeah, Nova Cat and Uziel.
Yeah. After his partner gets blown up by like one stray LRM missile to the Shadow Cat cockpit.
They've got a lock on me, Commander. Eject.
I like that Vulture enough that I still want to kit bash one of mine to make it the same thing.
I mean, it's really easy. I literally like snip the arms.
Is it Timby?
No.
Arms you stick on there?
Everything from this is okay. 90% of this is just Vulture parts modified. Like cut the arms off. Cut the arms off, and cut a little bit off the like gun pod section. Cut the barrels. To however your flavor of choice, and then flip them upside down, and then translate them to the other side. So your right arm becomes your left arm upside down.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. That's the secret.
And so, and then you just glue them on where roughly the arm joint would go. And then I trim the sides because I didn't like the big bulbous like radar pod parts on the side. So it goes back to the flat torso.
Flat profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm done with my Mad Cat A, I can get to work on that.
Nice.
Yeah. So
beautiful.
I did that. I did a custom Raijin. Like I kind of did the same thing. I took a crab, cut the arms off, and glued some pieces to make a Raijin for Nova. And then I was like, this is good, but I'm not in love with it. So
but on the table, like doing that's 5 feet away, it looked great.
Yeah, like I was like, this match
looked really, really good.
Close enough. So those are my two like super big kit bashing projects, which is I'd say one of my favorite things to do for that part of the hobby is like make something completely unique that no one else has done.
Oh, speaking of that, I think Dustin and I have both assembled and painted a Greyhound mech. Speaking of something that no one else has done.
Well, you gotta hurt me like that.
I did paint a Greyhound this year. I finally got cover art, guys.
I think you were the first to paint the Greyhound.
I am not.
No,
Noah beat me to it. The first man on the face of this planet to paint the Greyhound was Noah.
And you know what?
That was fast.
If I had to put money on anyone to be the first to paint anything, it would be Noah Kinney.
Oh my God, Noah can paint like
nice.
Like, here's a 2,000 point army I did over the weekend. I'm not joking.
Like I've literally he's assembled it in the store, takes it home, and it's done painted before I have gotten home myself. And I'm like, wow, what the heck, man? He's like, I just felt like painting it. And he doesn't stop. Like I don't paint like that. I don't paint without stopping to take a breath.
Yeah.
So Noah was the first one, and I had thought about doing like all right, send me the first person to paint, and I'll send them. I was like, before we were done with Southern Assault, Rob had mailed him one, and he had assembled it, and I was like, Rob, what did you do?
So I don't know if that should be a notable pilot or a notable Aztec. First, that sucker assembled that fast.
Yeah, no, assembled and painted. I was like, my God.
But a wizard with the spray gun.
So you guys have both assembled. Dustin, you've painted yours. Yours is the it's the promo photo when you see it, so everyone gets to see a professional painter paint job on it.
Commission, not professional, but I have done commissions in the past.
Look, I argue if you are a commission painter, you are a professional painter.
All right, I'll take it.
I don't give skill level, but you're a professional.
Yeah, sure.
You've assembled yours, Denham, right? You haven't painted yours.
I have a Karita red base coat on mine now.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Y'all are both better than me.
Paint your Greyhound.
You
have to. We were talking about this before we recorded. You have to give everybody, the listeners, the line about standing in front of the new car.
I'm like that meme where it's my neighbor got a new car today and he's be standing outside staring at it while eating chips for 15 minutes. And it's been 2 months and I'm still just staring at it in the box like, wow, this is mine. It looks great. It will never look as good when I assemble it and paint it. And I'm just so happy and proud that just looking in the box does the same thing that painting and assembling every other model does for me.
Well, hey, they've restocked. They're back to stock. Buy a second one, paint that one, and leave your first one in the box.
No, part of me is waiting for my wife to paint hers because I expect her to like completely blow my stuff out of the water like she normally does. Mm-hmm. Except I've bought her too many models for Christmas, so now she's like on her stuff. I'm like, no, you need to paint the Greyhound mech and then make me feel bad, so I have to paint mine then.
Yes, Josh's true motivations.
Painting competitions, yes. Whether it be competing with my own wife. But yeah, so I do plan on getting to that. I have a lot of models I haven't assembled yet that I want to. Like they are sitting on my desk, ready to go. And I'm just like cultivating hobby mass. But yeah, so I've done a lot of painting. I've done a lot of assembling.
You've done a lot of editing.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is where most of my hobby time goes, is editing this podcast so people enjoy listening to it.
It counts as hobby progress, I promise.
It doesn't feel like it.
It
doesn't feel legal.
I feel like at the end of the year, you should take all of my all of Denham's palette clicks, and all of your so's, and just put them together in like 20 minutes of
20
easily.
The problem is
this is the crap I cut for you.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear the Dave Snyder cut of the Mechbay podcast.
We'll spare you.
It's 4 hours long. There's a lot of There's 20 minutes of dead air per show where we just sit around thinking about what's the perfect word to say. And also all the clicky clacking where we look up what the mech actually is that we're talking about.
That's right.
And it's like, does that one have jump jets? I don't know.
Sarna.
Yeah.
Stop spoiling the magic.
Yeah.
Sarna.
Yeah. So I do a lot of editing. Probably, I think I did the math. It's like 1 hour of show is 4 hours of editing.
That seems right.
Yeah.
Both of you are like, oh yeah, no, that's right for Josh.
I've edited before. It takes a long time. Yeah. It's hard work.
That's not even That's not even adding in the pre-show planning, the pre-show talks, the chatting about the show.
Commercials.
Oh, the commercials. Yeah,
those don't count. You love that.
They take a lot of planning too.
Yeah, they do.
So we got 25 podcast episodes out this year, which is my goal for, I want to shoot for bi-monthly, at least 2. Anything else I can get out is great.
Yep, we're getting close to 50.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Let's move on to favorite model of the year.
All right, Denham. So out of all the things you did, so much, all of the vast quantities of mechs you've painted, /assembled, /played with, what was the one that really stood out to you that you had your favorite time either playing with, assembling, just made you feel good?
Right. I mean, I would love to say it's that Timberwolf A that I made because it does look so good. But the one that brings me the most happiness is that first Timberwolf that I got the Smoke Jaguar spots on. I know it's just a prime, but it looks so good and it brings me so much happiness. And it's I took it to Nova. I painted it for Nova. So I'm going to say that one.
You don't even that. That's the kind of paint job on a expensive mech that you don't even take out on missions. You just leave it in the hangar and rub it with a diaper.
Chips in front of it.
Yeah.
Now that I've got the A to do all the heavy lifting, that one can stay at home, and it'll just sit there in my box and say, "Yeah, that's a very pretty mech I've got over there."
Be a hanger queen.
Yeah, I'm not scratching the paint on that one.
What about you, Dustin?
I mean, I feel like everybody can guess. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not that transparent. It's definitely the King Crab 11, and it's the King Crab that I ran as the 11. So before. It's an alpha. It has 2 LB20s, supercharger, all that fun stuff. But yeah,
it's got no structure.
It's no structure. 2 structure and alpha strike. That's funny.
Yeah,
the composite or whatever. I mean, it's a great mech. It's a great variant, and I had a lot of fun painting it. I'm pretty happy with the paint job. So yeah, easily my favorite this year. How about you, Josh?
That's a tough call because everything I painted, do I say I liked painting it, or did I just hate paint through all of it?
Is it the Greyhound?
No,
I mean, you got your mech.
But I didn't paint it. I didn't paint it. So favorite model you did. I didn't.
I'm looking at the notes. It says favorite model you did. That's an ambiguous.
That is
wording.
Ambiguous. I did the Greyhounds. I had the art commission for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it. It's mine, but I didn't make it.
Okay. So
It's
if you're
tough.
not going to count that.
I don't want to be cliche and say oh yeah, my Black Knight I took to Nova, but
would it be anything else?
But why not?
The Black Knight has smoke effects and fire and battle damage, and it has free hands on it. I feel like I pulled out every modeling stop I had to get that. I put texture paint for leaking coolant and oil out of the mech it's standing on with cracks in the paint and armor.
Yeah, I'd count it.
I think I
I don't see anything cliche about that at all.
I think I kind of flexed all of my hobby muscles to get that one done because I was like, okay, I need a nice looking centerpiece mech for this force. So I was like, cool, it's going to be the Black Knight Clan Buster. That's literally standing on a mech, like PPC raised, all the effects, all the glazing, everything I could throw onto it. I just had to do 100%.
Yep.
So I'll say that's my 2022 model looking back on. And I had to spend a lot of time because I assembled that like at the start of like December. I got like the base coat on in like March or April. The base done in the summer, and then the final details done the week before Nova. So it was a whole year-long project just for that one mech.
It took most of the year, yeah.
It took most of the year. It's like, why is Josh only paint 35 miles? Because Josh takes the whole dang year to paint one.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the timeline there, like every time you're doing another section, if you cut back to me, it's me like getting frustrated trying to do the stupid spots that didn't work until Nova. Yep, we all got our trials.
Yeah. All right, so what's the game you guys look back on the most? Because we still played games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I played a lot of games, a whole lot of games. But the one that I remember the most affecting me is the very first Alpha Strike game at Nova. That's basically the first time I played Alpha Strike, not against you, Josh. Like I had played 3 games against you to basically learn the rules. And this was my first time out in the wild seeing if I actually knew anything or if this was just going to be a horrible weekend. And it went really, really well. And I just remember like halfway through the game just going, I know this, I can do this. Tactics still work in this game. Mm-hmm. I just have to apply them to the rules. And what I want to do happens. And it was a very eye-opening moment, and I still think about that game every now and again. Brings a smile to my face. So
Josh still goes for 3 objectives every time.
Yeah, but this wasn't. This is the first time I didn't play against you, so it was a whole new person that I was flexing my Alpha Strike, my brand new Alpha Strike muscles against just to see, and my tactics worked, and I was like, cool, this actually does work.
You're like, I can do this.
Nice. Yeah.
You believed in yourself in that moment.
I did. It was super cool. So that's my game. Is the very first Nova game. That's the one that I will remember.
Nice. What about you, Dustin?
So I had, for the Escalation League, I had made my roster. And I had named all my pilots after Bluey characters. So I had Honey, Coco, Snickers, and a local.
Your kids are way younger than my kids.
One of the locals killed like 2 of my pilots in the first game, and I was like, "How did you do that to Coco?" So it was cinematic. It was funny.
I was worried that you were going to make your game not a BattleTech game. So
no.
I mean, it's okay if it wasn't. The fan mail would, add up.
Yeah, right.
Door, but...
No, I didn't. I played roughly like probably 8 to 10 games of 40K this year. And they were good. I had good fun. And then I played probably,
triple that?
Southern Assault plus. No, I wouldn't say triple that. I'd say probably twice as much. Probably about 20 games between Alpha Strike and Classic this year. So I like 40K and everything, but BattleTech is my first love, easily. So, but yeah, that was a fun game. Killing pilots is fun.
You're also blossoming as a general wargamer. Like
of course,
you're tasting the other war games to learn tactics that you're just taking back to BattleTech.
God, did I play? I played 2 intro games of Infinity this year. That happened too. Did I play any other weird, obscure miniatures war games? I don't think so.
A Billion Suns.
I still haven't played it.
That weird.
I played a couple of tabletop simulator games, but those don't really count.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, fine. Just learning rules games, though. Nobody. I'm in no man's land here.
That Space
no
Station
Mama Bird.
game.
Space Station Zero. Couple like 2 or 3 rounds of that.
Pretty sure you did 5 parsecs.
I did.
Gamma Wolves, maybe.
Nope, I haven't played Gamma Wolves. We have to wait till the goals section.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
What's your favorite game?
Yeah, what's your favorite game this year?
That's a tough one because I have 3 games that like stood out that like core memory, like brain cells, like cycle me back on when I'm having that day, and I'm like, I need to remember why I do this. And the first of those games was probably when I played Matt LeBaron at Nova for the top table, because you had played him, Denham, and
I did.
It was the last game, and it was me versus him, and I knew looking at his list that I was going to get smoked, and I was like, I can't beat this list on a good day with good dice that aren't loaded. I can't beat this list. And I was like, how do I do this? And I just had to like completely throw out any ability for me to just outdo his list with just the I have to commit everything to this objective and just have to win it like that. So I mean, you can listen back to the Southern Assault list where I dogpile like half of my army onto the objective, which was kind of like the football keep away, capture the flag mission. It's like, okay, I have to keep this away the entire game. And it literally came down to who wins initiative on the last turn.
Yeah, because he was my second game at Nova, and he was difficult. Like literally came down to a coin flip for us. Like the ref flipped a coin. That's how
I hate
that's
those.
how I
hate those so much.
Yeah,
I've lost things for coin flips, and I'm glad it didn't come down to that. But
it basically almost did. Like an initiative roll is almost a coin flip. Mine was literally a coin flip. Yours was close.
Mine was a two
close to a coin flip.
A D36 sided coin.
Jeez.
Yeah, there was that. My most relaxing, like enjoyable, friendly, but also in competitive was probably when I played Steve at Southern Assault. And that was just Jade Falcons versus my Sea Foxes. And that was like just a great, like 2 guys just playing Battletech at high level and just having a good, fun time.
Nice.
He killed my Ares, I killed his Timberwolf and his Turkina. And it was just like, by the end of it, it was like, I won by him not running away as far as he should. And I felt bad at that point, but I was like, this is the only chance I have to win this. Like it was a complete tie at that. So, and then of course me also at Southern Assault, me versus Chris at that, where I just blew him out of the water with the super heavy list. Like, I guess what I'm saying is all my favorite games are the ones I do with the high level tournaments because they're just so,
and they're all close.
They're all
right?
close. They're all, well, sorry, Chris, but that game wasn't close. That was 35-0. That was tournament Josh turning back on after that rough day.
Right, but that was a turning point game. That's true.
Yeah, that was a turning point. But I do like this is how much fun I have at tournaments, and this is why I go to tournaments, to have those games where I think about the entire rest of the year on everything I do. Comes down to like 1 or 2 dice rolls or coin flips, and it's just, how am I going to react from this? How am I going to go to the next part? It's very thematic. It's very story-like, and it's what I hold on to for the rest of the year. But I'd like to say that all of my games I did this year were great, except like those few that I mentioned that I really wouldn't do again. But we won't go over those. What is something that you like grew on as a BattleTech person? Somewhere that you improved your skill level or expertise in the hobby.
I'll go first. I did substantially better at Southern Assault this year than I did last year. Tactically, like way, way, way better. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. That's it.
I fought your list and I was like, holy crap, I'm going to get my butt kicked this year. I'm very glad
I could top that list.
I do think it's funny that you took stuff that other people were taking that they knew were good. So that like kind of that reinforced in your and my mind that you had really like surpassed yourself as a list builder just in that part of it.
Yeah, I definitely had a better idea going in. Definitely played tactically better. It was just, yeah. The second time you do anything, I feel like you do easily 50% better, and that was this year for me. So it's all down here from here, or all downhill from here. So
what about you, Denham?
For me, I think it's organization in general. Looking back to when I did the missions a few years ago, and compare that to how I approach it now. I mean, I come in with packets, like pre-printed packets for anybody who's going to be helping run any of the campaign missions on the other tables. I have all the dice already partitioned out. People come in and the tables are already set up with the maps and everything's just right. I have the minis already pulled out and separated. So I think just the level of organization has really improved this year over previous years. But I would say it's also because I did it like 50 something times this year. Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
You became efficient at playing BattleTech.
I became efficient at setting up BattleTech to play. Yes.
But I definitely think that's really... You can really see the fruits of that labor just in how much the BattleTech community locally has grown from you being the foundation for that. Like, people come in and they see like all these BattleTech and they're like, hey, I'd like to try this. And you're like, I have a pre-done setup just for this scenario. I have mechs, I have dice, I have sheets. You are ready. Like, they were like, do you have 30 minutes? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, cool. I can do this in 30 minutes. And here's all the thing. And I have 1 minute for setting up time.
Yep. I have a folder that has pre-printed missions with pre-printed mechs that I could just grab, what kind of mission do you want to do? And I just pull from the little separator of that folder and throw it down. And I'm just ready to go. Pop out a map, grab a mech, and I already know which mechs. So yes, super efficient. And yeah, you're right. It has grown a lot. At the beginning of this year, I would say it would be impressive if we got 6 to 8 people showing up, and recently we've had over 27. So it's a lot. It's a big increase.
Nice.
I think they see that,
I hope that my joy of this game is infectious to other people, and if being organized and pre-planning shows that, I'm happy to do that to get them even a little bit as excited about it as I am.
I apparently wrote list building, but I don't feel like that's what I improved on this year.
What did you improve on this year?
I don't know anymore.
So list building?
Maybe that's why I wrote it, because I couldn't think of anything else. But I feel like I've always wrote really good list. And I've always played really good lists. Like, I don't want to say my BattleTech, playability has increased, but maybe it has.
Maybe.
I mean, this was 2021 did 1 tournament. 2022 did 3 tournaments.
3.
Yeah. That's like, guys, existential crisis. What did I improve on as a BattleTech player?
I was going to say your tolerance of other players, but maybe not.
I'd actually say it went down this year. Like, I'm going to be honest. I think because I realized my time frame in playing has gone down. Like, I have less availability to just go out and play, especially in a post-COVID world where, my time is not as free. Mm-hmm. I can't just hang out at a game store, either for my responsibilities or whatever. My tolerance for like, oh, well, I misinterpreted. I thought you meant next Tuesday and stuff has actually gone down. I became a more volatile player. Man, this has got to be cut. Josh, I'm breaking down. This is for the Patron episode. I don't know. I don't know how I've improved.
Yeah, you don't have to have a thing.
I mean, I would like to. It's my segment. Buying.
I've improved my spending limits. You've improved you've lengthened the average time of your podcast.
I think what I'll say for the way I've improved as a hobbyist is just a little bit everywhere. Like, I know it's the cop-out answer, but
It is, but it works.
but I've gotten a little bit better at playing. Think the problem is for like playing classic games locally, I almost want to say I like to lose because I will take weird stuff more often and learn how to use it on the table, so I'll lose a lot of those first pickup games. But this year I kind of strive myself to do more of the competitive, like, okay, build a list, build a good list, and play it well. And I feel like I did that. I like retain more rules and was planning a few more turns out than I normally do mentally, rather than just reacting. I'm planning and committing to a plan. I think for painting, I decided I would do more of the showpiece quality tabletop standard, and just be happy to take it out. Like, I know we talked with Mike and Dan, like, yeah, seal your models, and I'm like, no, I'm just, and I'm just, I know BattleTech's a little different because your models don't get jammed into a thing, so they don't get damaged as much. So using those nice painted models is nice. I think I've gotten better at editing. I can edit faster now. I can listen at 2 times speed and hear what people are saying.
Yeah. No, that's a big deal.
I feel like that's like the, what is it, Jade Falcon, like battle talk, like when they're just squawking, and it's like, no, the computer just compresses what they're saying to 2 times speed and then plays it, and it's like, and they're like, what are they saying, Commander? And the clanner in the back's like, oh yeah, no, Johnny needs another ton of SRM ammo, he's out. That's actually been kind of funny to see myself progress through that, because editing takes so much of my hobby focus.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know, all that practice, it's bound to make some improvements.
Yeah. And for painting wise, being more comfortable with showing my progress in painting rather than just a finished model.
I have a problem with that myself. I do not like showing works in progress. I feel
somebody was talking about people posting whips of like a primed black model with like one arm perfectly done. And like, that's not a whip. Come on. That's just a fifth of a finished model. But yeah, post your whips. See how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I'm not.
By
I'm
whip,
not
you
good
mean
at that
work
at
in
all.
progress, not.
Yes,
that's right.
Not your car.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of everything. A little bit better playing, a little bit better list building, a little bit better planning and editing, and a little bit better just overall enjoying BattleTech.
Ooh, that's a good one to have.
I'm taking some pleasure away from the hobby. It's not a job; it's a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
That is important. That's the takeaway part of this episode.
Yeah.
All right. And now for my favorite part is goals for 2023. We've had 2022, but what about what we want from 2023? Because we're a week in. What do we want? What do we want from this year?
I got my notes written, so I can go first. I have a very specific goal in mind. This is like actually my, what do people call them?
No, he's talking about the resolutions.
Resolution. My resolution is, it's not really it's to paint. I am not allowing myself to buy not a one miniature until all of my unpainted crap is either painted or gotten rid of.
Sold on eBay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have 130-ish.
Oh my God.
Plus or minus. Somewhere between in the shrink wrap, that's only like 20, 25 models, to something in between. So I've got a lot of work to do.
Do you swear to me, Denham, and every listener who hears this that you will not purchase another model until those 133 mechs, miniatures, and models are either not present or done?
Yes, I promise.
Yeah, I get to see him just pouring it in the trash can, and then the garbage truck drives away, and then he goes and buys one.
It has to be done or out, one or the other. I have been shopping for game mats because technically buying a game mat is not another miniature. So
you don't have to paint it.
Where's a lawyer when I need one?
Yeah,
with
right.
This hobby loophole.
Hobby loophole. Also, does printing terrain count? I think it does. So I'm planning my centerpiece because I have my 40K Imperial terrain like pretty much done, but I need a centerpiece like ruined building. So I'm planning that, but I can't print it. I got to finish them all. I painted 60 models in 2022. Can I do 130 in 2023? Oh, let's hope so.
No.
Can you do them to your normal level?
I'm gonna have to make some compromises. That's for sure. I'm already making some. I'm getting the last 10% of my normal standard takes 50% of the time. And it looks the damn same on the table. Like I have a squad.
It does
of
not.
Necrons.
No, it doesn't, because it doesn't look the same on the table where there's people who are good painters looking at it.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I have this squad of Necron warriors, and half of them are painted to my finish standard, and half are just like really rough, not really blended at all. And when you're standing 5 feet away, you can't tell the difference. So I got to do it. I also want to game more in 2023. That's a wish. We'll see if I can actually get it done. I'm working on a war game, which is the main point of this war game is that it would be something my wife wants to play with me. So it's cooperative. It is
like, are you saying like creating a war game from scratch?
Yeah.
Like you are designing your own game.
Yeah.
Man who has played war games for 3 years decides to design his own.
That's right. We're going to do it. I'm not saying it's...
Sorry, I'm going to expand on that. Man who has only eaten Italian and some Greek food decides I'm going to invent Asian food.
That's right. As long as it's the kind that my wife will, eat. That's the whole point of this is I want to try to make something that... So there's only... I have some guiding principles finished. And the core combat resolution mechanic kind of hammered out, but that's it so far.
Does your wife know you're doing this?
Yeah. She play tested the combat resolution mechanic. She has to play test it because she's the one that has to want to play it with me.
Right. No, I was just making sure you weren't doing this as a surprise for her because
God,
no. Very poorly.
No, absolutely not. Hey, you say it, but I went from literally never modeling a model before, and then I created my own fleet of 15 miniatures for 1 billion suns.
That is true. Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
That's right. What else do I have on here? Oh yeah. My final goals for 2023 are to play 1 billion suns in person. We're going on year 3. I want to play Gamma Wolves in person, and I want to play Steel Rift too. So I know somebody who's got some Steel Rift minis.
I do.
They're on my desk. I can't assemble things that I get in 1 year. I have to wait for the year to roll over. Like I'm a year behind in my assembly to purchasing. It's why I did my last, purchases of 2022 so I could use them in 2023. I gamed the system, people.
Oh yeah. I was printing a Demon Prince on the 31st because I was like, this is the last model I can make /print /buy before I'm not allowed to do anything else next year. So that 2023, those are my goals. How about you guys?
Nice.
Who wants to go?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah. So I am not Dustin. I have almost 200 unpainted mechs, and I am fine with buying more. I will buy more all day long. Kickstarter's coming out this year. Yeah, exactly. I will buy so much more. I will leave these models to my kids to paint after I die.
Do you write in the will that they have to paint them to get the mechs? Like they have to paint one to get one?
That'd be awesome. Maybe just like, nah, don't care.
Somewhere, an estate lawyer is listening to this like, oh my God, these people are masochists.
However, in my goals for 2023,
it's hard to say.
It is
2023.
I do plan on upgrading my airbrush and using it a lot more. So maybe I will get a lot more mechs painted. At least table ready paint so that they look better at our campaign games. So that is a big goal of mine. And on top of that, in relation to my organization, I would like to have more 3D terrain for the maps we have at the store and organized into discrete boxes. So if you pull out a battle mat, you can go and pull out the boxes that are labeled for that battle mat, and then you could just set up the 3D terrain. You don't have to go searching for anything, and then you just put it all back in the box. And I think that would be, because everybody loves when we pull out the 3D terrain maps that we've got set up at the store already. And it's kind of sad when, one table has got 2 awesome maps and then the rest just have paper.
Definitely feels like, someone's the black sheep, gamer. It's like Denham's running one table and it's got, 3D everything. And I'm like, oh, which table am I running? And you point at one and it's like, oh, thanks. The all flat one. I see. All love and care goes to Denham.
Exactly. I want to alleviate some of that by making it so that everyone can have cool 3D terrain.
You can run the paper map.
Well, I could, but I got there first.
Hey, you paint the terrain, you get to play the terrain.
Okay.
On the last thing that I've got for 2023 is that I would actually like to try to get more YouTube content created just for funsies. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to do. I know we've talked about doing that a bit, but I've got all the cameras, I've got the setup. We've got even a place at the store that looks nice and has the right lighting setups for it. So it's just something that I would like to try to do in 2023.
Yeah, try it out.
I think those are all reasonable goals for you.
Learn by doing.
Yeah, I'm not going to promise I'm going to good YouTube content in 2023. That might be a 2024 goal, but I would like to start in 2023. So yeah, that's my goals.
Okay.
Josh?
Oh, man. It's weird when you write what are your hobby goals for 2023 and you struggle to think about what your goals are. Like, is my goal survive? Like, the Halo, like, just survive. That's all I want to do.
Survive.
Start a good podcast.
Yeah, no, it's like goal. I need to start another BattleTech podcast. That's what I need to do. I know for painting, my goal is it's a new year, it's a new faction. I need to stop painting white, and I need to stop giving myself very I think that's my problem, is I give myself difficult painting goals, like faction-wise. Like I am instinctively drawn to something that is difficult and painful and hard, which has created painting to not be hobby fun, is hobby punishment, thus generating the term hate painting.
Yeah.
Which is Josh sitting down for like 8 hours and getting it done, and it looks great, and every second of every brushstroke is him just screaming.
We lock him in a room, a soundproof room. He comes out with a painted mech.
Yeah. Like painting white with Comstar, it's not fun. It's not easy. It looks great, not something the average person can do and do well. Painting sea foxes, yeah, everyone can paint sea foxes. Not everyone needs to pick the water effect, diffraction gradient sea fox. It's like, why did I do those? So
because no one else would.
I mean, that is part of it. It's like, if you can't be the best, you at least be the best looking. I think that's the opposite of the red-green show. If women don't find you handsome, they'll at least find you handy. Except then Dustin, comes out of nowhere. He's like, nah, man, that's me now. So I want to be okay with painting factions that just look more standard, like Karita red, Davian green.
There are too many mechs to make every single one of them a work of art and be able to paint all the ones that have come out.
It's true.
I mean,
it's truly true.
There's like 300 some plastic mechs. That's one a day. Someone out there can do it. It ain't gonna be me, but someone can do it. Being okay with painting not super unique factions and just committing to like a faction that's just, there. Like, I don't choose the factions for the lore. I think I choose them for how painful their paint jobs are.
Yeah, that sounds like a Josh thing for sure.
All right. For gaming, I'd like to do more competitive light games. Like, I think that was something that we started with the Escalation League, where it was like, bring your best stuff and you got to play it as best as you can, because there is a, risk reward. Like, you get rewards to do more things next game. So there was a reason to do well at those. I'd like to do more where I'm kind of flexing my hobbies, my competitive gaming skills, and learning more, because you don't learn unless you play.
Yeah, I really liked the escalation format a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I got a couple games in, and the ones I got in were fun. You can ask some of our Discord members who I got to play against.
So that's my thing. It's like, I can build lists by myself as long as I want, but actually running them on the table, that's a harder time. I think I might expand more into like the MegaMek thing. Like, I know MRC does the MegaMek tournaments, and they have a lot more like regular MegaMek play. And I think that's a place that I might be able to do more at that and get more games in.
It's certainly easier than getting to the physical store, It's just,
and I got plenty of memory on the server. I can add as many instances as we need. So the more people playing, I can handle it.
For like the podcast stuff, I want to say I want to create more content for the listeners.
Dude, I think we need to do more After Dark episodes. Those things were so much fun.
I know I need to do more After Dark episodes. That's the easy answer, but it's like, it's always the hard thing of balance. Don't make it a job, keep it a hobby, keep it fun.
Of course.
And it's like,
Yep.
I don't know where that line is, and I'm very scared to cross it, because it's like, I see the podcast to do like every week episodes, and I'm like, oh man, I could do every week. And it's like,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Ooh.
And it's like, okay, where do I suffer? And does the content get less quality? And like, then you're like,
I think your wife needs to be a part of those decisions.
exactly. Yeah,
as well.
no, it's not just me. Like, I can't spend every hour every day editing the podcast. I could get someone to edit it. Would it be edited
That's
the
what
way I
interns
like?
are for.
Yeah, no, and they get eaten by Trachazoid half the time. So
They do.
I don't want to announce it now, but I do have like the secret project that I'm
very
okay
exciting.
throwing into the wild, and if it succeeds, or
What is it? The secret
He
project?
just said he wasn't going to say what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's secret.
All right.
and
It's a secret.
I need to be more comfortable with like just trying things like that,
Mhm.
because at least with the podcast, I am kind of a perfectionist, and okay, it has to sound right, it has to be right. So I am fearful of trying new things where I don't know how it will be received.
Right.
So letting myself go on some stuff like that
Yeah,
to make more content that's more fun.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. So all of my goals are a lot more existential than your guys, but oof. I guess it's that kind of 2023 then. Introspection. All right. So that's me for 2023. Any other thoughts you guys have for 2023?
I'm super happy the podcast has made it this long.
Yeah, because start of the year is always our anniversary. So we're
Right.
going on year 3.
Here's
I
to
know.
another year.
I'm excited.
We got
And we still have so many things to talk about.
so many things. And and listeners, we would love to hear what your hobby goals for 2023 are. Love to read it. Love to see what's going to keep you motivated. And if we like it, we might list them all on air. All right, Mechwarriors. From all of us at the Mechbay podcast, wishing you more 12s, more mechs, and more sea bills and salvage.